Welcome to the LootCrate I'm your host, Quincy.
And your other host, Justin.
So today I've got a regular cup of Folgers that I did in the French press. And the reason is because Justin brought me a Fordo Hershey's. It's one of those coffee shot things you're supposed to do. It's, 200 milligrams?
I think with the Hershey's one, I think it's 100 milligrams.
Okay, 100 milligrams of caffeine. It's supposed to be like drinking like a cup of coffee.
Well, more than...
Okay, yeah, no, because look, the 100 milligrams is... Okay, the 200 is the 2 cups.
Yeah, but this one is the Hershey brand, which is higher than a latte.
Okay, they're saying it's better than a latte. We're going to peel this open really quick and hopefully not make a mess.
Yeah, I don't... Yeah. It needs to have one of those, the metallic ones, the easy to peel one, instead of that plastic, because that plastic seems like it would stick harder. Shots.
So, I really feel like that should be cold.
You do? Okay.
Room temperature was weird.
Okay, but about the taste.
I don't really get Hershey's. It's definitely like an attempt at chocolate. It's like a mocha, which I don't like mocha. So, I don't know. I might try the other flavors. They've got what? They got another chocolate latte.
They have another
pure black, vanilla
latte.
Vanilla latte.
And then vanilla latte dark.
Yeah, okay. So they've got 3 that are like the dark ones, and they're supposed to be like the 200 milligrams of caffeine versus the 100 milligrams.
Yeah, so it's like the weird cream colored label is 100 milligrams, and then the black dark labels is the 200 milligrams.
So, I mean, it's gone literally in one swallow.
Yeah. Scale that 1 to 10. If you had to scale it off of both taste and how much coffee you get off that, what would you scale it at?
Okay, so now here's the problem.
Oh,
I don't want to scale it high because this is not going to be a go-to for me.
Okay, so...
But I don't want to scale it low because I don't think it's bad. I can see why people enjoy it.
Okay, so then scale it to where you think if you were to go out and get it on a constant.
If I were to go out and get this on a constant, maybe it's a 6 or a 7.
Okay, so 6.5.
So yeah, we'll go 6.5.
6.5.
Now, what's the prices on these?
They range anywhere between, for a 6-pack, it ranges about $12 at Walgreens.
Okay.
But the singles can go anywhere between $2 for $5 if you're in the mood just to get a couple for a couple days, or $2.99 for 1.
See, I feel that's a little pricey.
That's a little pricey.
I just downed the entire thing.
But you also got to figure, how much is a latte?
$5. But a latte is going to last me half an hour.
I
get that I'm getting more caffeine out of this, supposedly.
Yeah, and less milk as far as...
But I mean, get to enjoy a drink for an hour, for half an hour, however long, versus
a shot.
Less than a minute.
I guess it's for those who need it quicker.
Yeah. That's, I think the point here is energy,
Yeah.
Maybe a coffee version of a 5-hour energy.
And it has B vitamins in it and all that.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I feel okay after swallowing it.
I'm not
that's
dead.
Good.
And they also did a handshake with Green Mountain.
Hey, okay. I like Green Mountain. Green Mountain's not bad. Oh, they did the donut shop. I do donut shop for my Keurig sometimes. I like them. And then the...
they
did Krispy Kreme.
Original glazed latte.
That sounds interesting. And then what was this one up here? The...
Gavelia?
Gavelia, yeah. We had Gavelia on one episode.
Yeah.
That's the espresso. Okay, I would probably try the donut shop and the Krispy Kreme one. Maybe even... I would probably try all the flavors that aren't their natural flavors. The Gavelia, the Green Mountain, so on and so forth.
Okay.
Now, I find it interesting that they did do a handshake with Gavelia, because I think Gavelia is kind of big on, we have decaf and regular. So, the fact that they kind of cornered themselves in a market where they've got one.
Well, this is one of the very few that is both dairy-free and sugar-free.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
the Gavelia, yeah. Interesting.
But... Okay, I'm very happy to see that this does it.
I don't have a dairy problem, but that would be good. Dairy and sugar free for you. Okay, I go for it, I guess. I feel like this is something that everyone's gonna have to try to make their own decision, because I don't think it's bad, but I don't think I'm gonna buy one. I might buy the other flavors just to try them, but I'm not gonna go out and buy another Hershey's. Granted, I didn't buy this one, but...
Okay. And as for what I'm drinking, I just grabbed one of the ones that we grabbed for the first one from Sheffield. It's another Berry Magic, and I felt like doing another one. I felt like repeating today.
Yeah, he wanted to be a little fruity.
I wanted to be a little fruity.
So we've been talking that we need to get a list together of all the coffees and teas we've done,
but
so
then,
that we
and then
don't
on the
run
open
the
hand,
risk of repeating.
And then I'm like, but I have a whole entire big bag of this that I want. I'm actively drinking, so I'm like, it doesn't really matter if we do.
You should probably take the bag home so that you can drink it more than just when you're here, because you're not going to go through it.
You're right. I mean, well, I'm also drinking.
I don't mind you keeping it here. I got plenty of space.
Yeah, and I have 4 different flavors at home myself.
So we had another increase on the coffee gear this week. So a couple weeks ago, we bought the French press. We have the espresso machine. We have the coffee maker. We have the Keurig. Now we have an electric kettle. So the coffee machines are ever growing. And I was looking at some really nice drip ones. I was like, I need to stop. I'm buying too much.
It's time to stop.
Yeah, time to take a break.
All right.
So we'll move into to the news now. I wanted to do a review this time.
Okay.
So you normally do the reviews.
I love doing reviews.
So I'm going to pull up my screen time usage here. Because iPhone, fancy. So this is my 7-day usage. In the last 7 days, that's from Friday to...
Today?
Yeah, Friday to today is the way it looks like they're doing it. I spent 5 hours and 8 minutes on Blades total.
Okay,
Blades is the new Elder Scrolls mobile game.
Okay, so 5 hours. That's pretty considerable considering
it's a mobile game.
Most IGN people would only give most active AAA titles 2 hours before they say this is okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
Okay,
the mechanics work well. Okay. I haven't had any bugs. I have seen some people on Twitter and stuff like that who are posting photos of their bugs, but all the bugs I'm seeing is bodies landing in goofy ways, which are fun bugs.
Yeah,
and it's Bethesda,
not game-breaking bugs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually really surprised because I was at Target the other day and Lauren went to go try on some clothes. So I was like, while she's doing that, I'm going to play through a quest on Blades. She came out faster than I was expecting. I was like, all right, oh well. I closed Blades. I was like, I'll come back and I'll restart the mission later. Opened up the app when I got home and it saved my spot. And I didn't have to restart the mission. So that was cool. Basically, you're a Blades, which was this like elite force or something like that that's been defunct and they hunt them all down.
Basically, the king's right-hand guards.
Yeah. The Musketeers.
Yeah.
And you return to your hometown to find out it's been completely destroyed, and you start to investigate the mystery and rebuild the town.
Okay.
It's fun. I'm having fun.
I mean,
my only complaint is it doesn't feel like an Elder Scrolls game because all the quests are just fighting. You go to investigate an area or collect a substance or something, but you do that by just crawling through the dungeon, destroying everything.
Yeah.
Now, they did take it to where, you have to really think about what you're fighting, and you want to have different weapons. Different weapons will do different things against different creatures. There's creatures that are more susceptible to being attacked with an axe versus being attacked with a hammer, so on and so forth. So there's definitely some thought, but it's like social interactions are kind of pointless. They do give you some moments where you can be a total asshole to people, or you can be polite. They did give me a mission where I had the choice of slaughtering my way through, or just walking and talking to the main guy and getting them to leave. But there's no real investigation or anything like that. It's missing a good chunk of what makes RPGs fun.
The charm, if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a skill tree for leveling up, but you don't have to worry about strength and charisma, stuff like that.
It's basically one-handed, that sort of thing.
So there's a magic section, there's perks, and then there's like your physical fighting with your weapons section.
So melee, magic, and skill.
Melee. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. And I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I'm gonna keep playing it. They've got this whole thing where there's gold. Those are like the coins you use to buy stuff. Mm-hmm. And then there's these like rubies, and those are the special currency,
the premium content.
Yeah. But you earn them pretty easily.
Yeah.
And then there's chests that you can open. Wood chests take, I think, 2 hours. No, I think a wood chest takes like 30 minutes or something like that. A silver chest takes like 2 hours, and then the gold chest takes 6 hours. Oh. Or you can use rubies to open them faster. So what I do is I set my gold chest to open before I go to bed, and my silver chests, throughout the day. And wood chests, they're 1 ruby to open, so I open them right away.
I gotcha.
You can only open 1 chest at a time, which kind of sucks. But if I have a silver chest going, I can just spend that 1 ruby to immediately open the wood chest still. But I can't have more than 1 chest going. I will say they've got a scaling for the levels where it's like, I think there's skulls. There's like 5 or 6 skulls. The more skulls that are full, the harder the level is.
Payday type of
kind of
difficulty.
I went into one that was all the way through just to see if I can make it. Got my ass handed to me. Used a couple of my revives. Ended up completely losing and had to start over. I started over. Just switched what weapon I was using. Used the proper weapon for the enemies I was fighting. Went all the way through it. So even when it's saying it's the most difficult level, I still beat it. So
So-
they've got community events and stuff like that as well.
Would you say it's still a good game?
Yeah, it's free, and I mean, it's not costing me anything. And if you play it right and grind right, you can probably do it without ever spending any real money.
Okay.
That being said, it does have the pay-to-win status of you can get all the good equipment if you pay for it. However, you won't level yourself up by paying. So there's that. It does look like there's an arena section I haven't unlocked yet. So we will be able to fight other players, I think. And they have a section called the Abyss, which is basically just a never-ending dungeon. You just go and see how long you can last.
Okay.
And when you do die, you can start at the level you died on. So I think I'm on the 9th level, and I didn't really enjoy the Abyss, so I didn't go back to it. But that's just because I got bored.
Okay.
I was sitting on the couch. I was like, I got other shit I'd rather do. So, all in all, I enjoy Blades. I would like to see a little bit more from it, though.
I get you. If I had to like not be like so close-minded about mobile games, I probably would branch out and start playing a lot more. But I don't know. I'm just used to the one that I'm playing, and I just noticed one of my favorites on Tumblr. Post up art from their new one. They're like, hey, check it out. I just released it a little under a month ago. It's now available on Google Play and that. It's just called, I think it's just called AFK Fighter? Yeah. Oh, no, AFK Arena. And it's very simple, but it's very beautiful. They worked really hard on the art and the directions. It's very small right now. It's very straightforward. It's easy to get top tier. It's easy to earn their premium money just by playing the game. Go ahead and give it a look if you are into just things that play while you're not playing. Like you go in, do a couple of rounds, and then close it up. You come back, oh, I still have things to earn and things that's automatically earning for me. That's always a good thing for me. I enjoy that aspect of it plays while you're not playing.
Yeah, and with the with Blades, you're able to, when you build a new building for the town, it'll take 4 hours for it to build or something like that. So you come back in 4 hours and you complete it. So it does have that it goes while you're not around thing. So, I mean, I vote people can go for it. I know people are very angry with Bethesda right now. But we're pretty happy after watching some gameplay of a new Bethesda game.
Holy shit. Like, okay, starting off, we were like, oh, this just looks like a random Mad Max clone. But as soon as we popped into Rage 2, we watched a little bit of 10 minutes of gameplay. Every time I was like, okay, this looks fun. Okay, whatever. Let's go ahead and check out. Oh, what is this? And I just would take my hand off the mouse and we'd be just in awe at what Bethesda and ID Software are working on.
Yeah,
right
so we
now.
Basically took an extra 10, 12 minutes to start the episode today just because we were sucked into the Rage 2 post-beta?
Pre-beta.
Pre-beta, post-alpha.
Yes.
It looks good.
It looks really good.
And if it works that well, I'm here for it.
I am also here for it.
I already like the ID software because it did great with Doom.
Oh, yeah.
And this looks like Doom, but on a more open scale. It feels like they took the go, 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 go of Doom, put it in the world... Sorry. Something in my throat there. Put it in the world of Rage, which kind of feels like Borderlands, but with, human graphics. And then went, oh, you know what would also be great? Is if there was Mad Max cars.
And also strange weapons that do very strange things.
The magnetic rivet thing?
That was very cool. It looked like, it acted like a needler from Halo, and it was like, beep, 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 beep. And then he shoots toward the ground. I'm like, why did he shoot at And then all of a sudden, all you see is just this fine red mist as the body just gets propelled into the ground. Yeah. I'm like, oh, that's what it does!
Yeah, it just annihilates them. He's like shooting them to the roof, shooting them to the ground, shooting them out to other objects.
Yeah, it was. I'm so far looking forward to it. It releases on May 14th of this year, and goddamn, that can't come any quicker.
And it's on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Microsoft Windows.
Yeah, so sorry, Max.
Yeah, well, I mean, Macs aren't gaming computers. However,
they're wanting to.
I'm noticing that leaves out the Switch.
I don't think the Switch can handle this type of large loading time. I don't think the Switch might be able to handle that.
Okay. I mean, only time will tell. I mean, if the Switch pushes for a release, I mean,
that too.
So
what if I said Rage 2 was going to be released specifically on the Epic Game Store? It's not. It's luckily not. I mean, it is going to be released on Steam.
This is the kind of thing I would want to play on console, anyways. For me personally,
you're right. But
and I know you might want to take a PC spin for it. If they did the Epic Game only thing, I mean, that's on them. It doesn't affect me. But I don't like the exclusiveness people are doing.
Okay. there are some exclusiveness that I can lean toward, like Discord has their own branch of games with Nitro.
Mm-hmm.
And they bring in small-time indie exclusives just to help promote their game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not wanting all these choppy games that Steam is pulling out with their early access. So maybe this exclusiveness is just them trying to branch away from that and saying, we're not with those indie exclusives that are coming out with their titties hanging out. And
now, here's something I'm not 100% sure on this. I don't know if you know or if you'll be able to find it, but the Epic Games got Metro exclusively.
You are correct.
Are you able to buy a disc version for PC of Metro?
Probably not the what do they call them? The updated versions.
Okay.
Redux. The Redux version.
Oh no, I'm talking the new game.
Oh, Exodus?
Yeah.
I think you can. Let's find out.
Because that's the thing. If I have the chance to still buy it physical or go through their store, then I'm a little bit more open to it. But I don't know. I find this so weird.
Yeah, you can't purchase it. Like it still has the Steam page, which is even weirder. But no key, Epic key,
Yeah,
Epic key.
keys.
No.
See, I don't like that. Like, I don't like when any company does this unless the company created the game. Like, PlayStation doing it with Spider-Man is fine because they got a deal with Insomniac, who does do exclusive deals. They did an exclusive deal for Sunset Overdrive with
Infamous.
Infamous on PlayStation, but I was going to say Sunset Overdrive on Xbox.
You're right, but they release the games that they are hired to do for that console.
Yeah, versus Metro, which is a series that had already been available on all platforms.
And then got pulled. And I had done a pre-order through Steam, and I got refunded, and I was like, okay, well...
At least you got refunded.
Yeah, I got refunded, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, I didn't get any notice. I didn't get any actual apology that made me feel like it was justified. So I said, okay, that's fine. Whatever. Have fun. You guys want to release your game on Epic Store. I uninstalled Fortnite, and I heard people were allowing refunds for like Fortnite purchases, even though it says in their terms of service that they are not. And I'm like, this game is garbage. I only got it because of the Save the World aspect, which is the PvE variant, not the Battle Royale.
Yeah, the actual what was supposed to be the game.
Yeah, and I said I would like my money back in any way, shape, or form. You guys also scammed me. I am going to call out Epic Games right now. I'm going to tighten up my tie and let people know I had bound my PayPal account to my Epic Games account, and I will admit I did purchase something, and I had my account tied to the Epic Store, so that way it would make purchases easier. It spent $100 unknowingly.
On what?
A bundle pack of V-Bucks.
Jesus.
And I immediately said, this was not my purchase.
Give me my money back.
I did not sign into any other account. I had two-factor authentication on at the time, so this means that it was an internal security breach. I said, this is not safe. As soon as I got my money back, I unbound my PayPal to it, and I stopped playing everything on it. Plus, not to really give them shit, but now Fortnite is starting to pull more cards from other games, and it's really kind of scary on how desperate they're getting. I will admit some of their things look neat, but not necessarily anything to pull me back in if I were to. But I'm hoping if there is an Epic executive that manages to hear my voice, I am very sick and tired of your game. Please refund my money.
I played Fortnite for a little bit. I've still got it installed on the Xbox. The main game looks interesting.
The Save the World?
Yeah, the Save the World.
I will say
very interesting.
They've done a few updates, but they seem to take more care of the Battle Royale.
Yeah, because that's where they're making their money at.
Yeah, which bums me out because their PvE had some really good turns. They had some good character building things. They had events for each holiday.
Instead of every company copying the Battle Royale thing, can we get companies that start copying the Save the World thing so I can play it somewhere where it'll get patched regularly?
Oof. That's asking too much there, Quincey.
I guess so. I don't know. We've talked about the Metro thing before and what they did with Steam. And so what game is it? There was a game. No, it was Metro where they're talking about possibly pulling the old Metros No, it wasn't Metro. Someone else was talking about pulling stuff and moving to Epic, and I don't remember who it was now.
Gearbox.
Gearbox, that's what it was.
Yeah, Gearbox decided to get a little bit hoity-toity with Borderlands, and I'm like, well, I already own all of it on Steam, so you're not taking that away from me.
Yeah.
Plus, I think for a brief while you had it being one of the best played games on Steam, so I don't think you would want to move over to Epic. Oh, wait, you already moved over to Epic.
I understand that Steam has its problems, and I understand that Steam...
Let me paint this picture. What problems? I'll admit the indie scene is a little bit lacking and not entirely varied, but at the same time, you still have some really good...
Maybe I shouldn't say Steam. Maybe I should say Valve.
Okay.
Which is basically Steam.
But I can see that Valve as in the company.
So, that being said, Steam is a platform. I have no issues with it. I've used it plenty of times. But I also don't PC game. When I look at Valve, I kind of go... I just don't care anymore. And I feel like Steam still very much is like, but Valve. I mean, I still see Team Fortress 2 stuff all the time. And not take anything from Team Fortress 2 because I get that it's a fun thing. But let's be honest, Team Fortress 2 is basically Steam's Fortnite. In the sense that it's their free-to-play game that's what they put all their time and energy into.
For a while, yes. And they're still updating it today. And Team Fortress 2 is like 13 years old. Yeah.
You know, it still gets its updates. They've got the ongoing little story thing. You showed me the videos a couple months back where they were like, yeah, the teleporters are giving us cancer. And they cut open the slice of bread. It was disgusting. It was funny.
It was live.
But, like, I personally, I'm like, okay, where's Team Fortress 3? Where's...
They can't count to 3. They cannot, they physically cannot count to 3.
Half-Life.
Yeah, Half-Life.
Portal.
Team Fortress. Portal. The episodes, Left 4 Dead. I mean, that they had to outsource that. They said, "Here, you could take our Left 4 Dead and turn it into it's Left to Die." I don't know.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
I don't know.
It still uses the number.
It still uses the number, but even still, they cannot. And even Gaben, one of the CEOs of Valve, played on this joke where he got pulled into a recording booth and. They were said, so you're going to be announcing Half-Life 3, and he's like, but I'm not, and he's like, no, this is going to be an April Fool's joke, and then he's like, okay, we're announcing Half-Life, and he just like stammers and stutters, and they're like Half-Life 3, and he's just and he just would not say 3.
I don't know. I don't see that they've necessarily done anything wrong to where they shouldn't be allowed to put games on their platforms with Metro, but I get that they do pay less than what Epic is saying. Epic is offering. The question is, how long is Epic going to keep offering that amount?
Yeah, I mean, well, with as much money as they've earned through Fortnite and the children throwing the cash out there, hard to say. But at the same time, I'm wondering how many people were affected by the security breach that I got hit by and was just okay with it. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if that security breach was
didn't notice because they already pay so much on the game. I don't want to be a downer on Fortnite because purely there's one reason why I truly like Fortnite, and that's that it's taken all the kids out of my servers for my other games.
Can't be mad at that.
No.
Can't be mad at that.
I no longer have 13-year-olds telling me about how they fucked my mom. So, yeah. I mean, it's the truth though. Like, and that's why I do have issues with Fortnite. I can't play on a team on Fortnite because I can't be on the headset and the mic. I can't listen to it. There's no way.
Understandable.
But I mean, I digress. We'll move on.
All right.
Epic will probably do something big or small soon that'll piss us off or make us happy.
I mean, so far I'm just really disappointed with them. That's all I can say. I'll admit I enjoyed their games. They're even offering free games one every 2 weeks.
That's cool.
Like they just gave up The Witness, and they just gave up Thimbleweed Park, the one that looks like the X-Files point and click adventure.
Oh, Thimbleweed. I thought it was Tumbleweed. I know what you're talking about, though. It looks like X-Files or Twin Peaks-esque.
Yeah. It is Thimbleweed Park.
It is Thimbleweed Park. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's great and all, but I mean, every month I get how many from Xbox? You get how many from PlayStation?
4 and 4?
I think it's 4 and 3 because one carries over.
Oh, you're right.
Or, no, it's It's 3 and 2. So, I mean, I'm getting 5 games monthly. I mean, Xbox did it, and then PlayStation did it. Now, Epic is doing it. And the problem is...
But Epic...
Actually,
okay, with
PlayStation
Epic,
may have done it first, actually.
PlayStation did do it first.
Okay.
But then you have Epic, who you don't need to subscribe with, and you still get the free
That's cool,
games.
but Origin does that.
But at a smaller...
At a smaller amount, yes.
Yeah, at a very smaller amount, and not that good a game.
True.
Oh, Transistor. Okay, hang on.
But that's only 18th to the 2nd.
Yeah, but you get it for free. You
get it forever?
You get it forever.
Oh, okay.
So let me paint a little picture. I love Transistor's music.
Okay.
It's cyberpunky. It's very quick paced. If you've ever played Bastion, Transistor is the successor to it.
Okay.
I like this game. I love Bastion. I love the art. I love the style. Like it. You can see the film reel.
I have Bastion. I haven't played it yet.
Oh, very good songs. Like we were mentioning with the soundtracks.
Yeah.
I'll dig a hole, you build a wall. It's a good song, and it's very memorable. Transistor has songs that are memorable. It's just more cyberpunky. And you get it for free. So, I mean, Epic, you're doing okay things, but I'm still disappointed in you.
I mean,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
I'm always happy for free shit. And so, you can give me all the free games you want. And that doesn't necessarily guarantee I'm going to buy anything from you.
Yeah.
But you can give me all the free games you want. That being said, The Witness free again. I mean, everyone gives The Witness for free.
Yeah, Jonathan Blow kind of was like, okay, I've already passed as much as I can probably make on this game. Let's just.
I mean, I got it for free on the Xbox. It was for free on the PlayStation.
I got it for free on Steam and now on Epic Store.
I'm pretty sure Origin's not that far behind. No, actually, it's not an Origin game, so it can't be. But
but if it was, it probably would be
very far behind. I will say something that pisses me off is I have EA access, which I will not be renewing after this year.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn through the last of the games on there that I want to play, and then I'm probably gonna be done. While they do add, a new game here, a new game there, once the title starts to reach a certain age, and they've got another one coming out. My issue is that I pay for EA access, and that does not get me Origin access,
which is dumb.
Yeah, and because I'm like,
you can't because you can't access Anthem, even though it's made by the same company. But then again, you don't want your fucking...
I don't want to access Anthem anyways.
Because it's going to hard brick your fucking Xbox.
But I'm kind of done with EA access. I'm starting to get a little burnt out on a lot of the subscription things.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Obviously I still like my Loot Crate and Tokyo. Treat is still good. We're still sponsoring them. Or they're sponsoring us, however you want to look at that. We've still got our thing with them. You'll still be able to find them in the link. But I'm talking digital. Things I can't own.
Yeah,
that's where I'm starting to get a little annoyed with the subscription services.
I only have 2.5 if you want to call it that. I have the Spotify Hulu bundle that if you go through Spotify, you get Hulu free. And then the other one I have is Humble Bundle Monthly, which I enjoy. Like this month, I already got all the games for it, and then they say if you pre-order next month, you get Assassin's Creed Origins.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, that's still a $60 game for $12.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you still Humble Bundle, you still know how to do it, and also it supports charity. I can always say if it supports a good charity.
I bought from Humble Bundle. I like Humble Bundle.
Humble Bundle's great.
I bought a bunch of graphic audio books.
Yeah,
graphic audio is their comic book, either novels or comic books in general. That they've done audiobooks for with full sound effects and everything.
Yeah. I've bought maybe every single one of the Humble Bundle jumbo indie bundles.
Okay.
Because there's probably a couple games in there that I like, and I'll throw the rest at the Discord, that sort of thing.
The one thing I don't like about Humble Bundle, it's not even on Humble Bundle's side, it's on the side of the companies that they're working for these bundles. My graphic audio things, I have to download them from Humble Bundle. I can't download them through my graphic audio account. And that's on graphic audio, I think, not on Humble Bundle. It's like I'd rather them be available on my graphic audio account because I can have it all in one spot versus having all these MP3s on my computer.
Yeah, I mean, that's a small niche.
Yeah. And that's not even something I'm mad at Humble Bundle for. It's just like graphic audio. What the hell?
Yeah.
But we'll move on.
Let's stop.
We'll stop being so salty.
Yeah, no more salt. No more salt. All good. All we have is nothing but good right now.
If we were snails, we'd be dead. The salt.
I know. And I'm trying to think on how bad I would die.
It would be a horrible
sodium overdose. Moving on.
Which can kill humans anyways. It can.
How many kidney stones have I had, Quincy?
Good point.
All sodium. Okay. All right. So
this excites you a lot, and I'm like, okay. I mean,
as I've always say, I'm a big, huge fan of Rainbow Six. Mm-hmm. Another thing I'm a huge fan of is Killzone. I love Killzone. When I got the PS4, I got it bundled with Killzone Shadowfall. And holy shit, I fell in love. The multiplayer was a little lacking, and I'll admit that. But at the same time, I was like, this game is beautiful. It took the original PS4 to its limits, and it was great. I loved it to death.
Nothing else has done that since.
No, nothing ever will. Except for the other games that they put out, such as Horizon Zero Dawn and some other
Would
things.
you really say Zero Dawn takes the PlayStation 4 to its limits?
It still looks pretty. I mean,
it looks pretty.
The game looks pretty, but as far as taking it to the limits, when I say taking it to the limits, I mean it also drops frames.
Yeah.
So that's where I was just like, I mean, it does. I mean, I'm sure it got patched by now, but
I never ran into any issue. I swear to, or like for the most part, I am like resistant to bugs because everyone's like, "Oh, this game's buggy as hell." I'm like, it plays fine.
I get it. I mean, I'm talking about Shadowfall before all the patches.
Gotcha.
So I mean, we had a bit of a technical difficulty.
By technical difficulty, it means I just about died on my coffee.
Yes.
I kind of inhaled some coffee and just obliterated myself. Coffee was on the blinds, on the wall. It even got near the computer plug. We kind of panicked.
Yeah, but he's fine. He's got a little bit stuck in his throat somewhere, I'm sure. But
yeah.
As I was saying, Guerrilla Games hires a multiplayer project heading from themselves, but they hire the Rainbow Six Siege director. Now, Rainbow Six Siege is fast-paced and not necessarily quick as far as what Shadowfall was as far as multiplayer. I mean, it was constant multiplayer. I wouldn't say fast-paced, though. But I'm excited. I am very excited. I do enjoy both games, and I'm super honestly wanting to know how this is going to be because they're wanting this to be esports ready.
Did we even explain? I feel like we just started talking about Guerrilla and whatnot, and we didn't actually explain what we're talking about here.
I just
did. But you didn't say that what they're hiring. You didn't mention the hiring thing.
They are hiring?
Yeah, they're hiring for they're hiring for a multiplayer thing, and it's gonna be headed by the director of Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh, so even though he moves over there, he's still okay. He's wanting to hire. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm excited. I'm super excited. I want to know more about this project, though. I wonder what it's going to be. They're wanting it to be esports ready because matchmaking, tournaments, clans, and leaderboards. So I mean, if they're wanting this to be set. Oh god, having this sentence right there. It says Sony probably wouldn't mind having a battle royale franchise to call their own. I don't want another battle royale. I've stopped playing battle royales. Ring of Elysium, I stopped playing. Fucking Apex, I stopped playing. Fortnite, I stopped playing ages ago.
I mean, honestly, I've gone back to playing my age-old, true games to me. The ones I always go back to. I went back to the Arkham franchise, things like that.
Yeah, I've been playing Risk of Rain 2. On an extensive level.
How many hours do you think?
I'm at 18.
That's not that bad.
It
came out 3 weeks ago. That's not bad.
In under about a week and 3 days.
I don't think that's that bad.
You don't think it's that bad?
No.
I mean, I've also been writing. I've also been doing a lot of writing for D&D campaigns.
You have days off in there too, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm all for new projects. I'm all for new ways to get multiplayer going. I'm just tired of Battle Royale.
I also am. I mean, unless it pulls me in with like, oh, that looks really cool, or something that has charm to it.
It's just they're all, you drop in from the air and then you go and shoot each other.
Yeah, there's nothing too spectacular. Except for that guy who's a multimillionaire who wants to actually do a real-life Battle Royale.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
This is the world we live in. Whoa, and he's.
Hey, you want to move on to some weird stuff? We can move on to this.
Yeah, let's move on to. We're going to talk about a podcast that both me and Quincy listen to.
So, I listen to a lot of podcasts.
I've begun to lean in toward other ones. I used to have only about 3. Now I'm at like 12.
So I'm going to just kind of glance over here at my library, and we're going to hit shows. So it's 2 across, and
2, 4, 6,
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 32, 34, 36, 38. It keeps going. I probably got close to 100 podcasts on my phone.
But there's one that we can define as probably one of our ones that we're actively wanting to listen to.
Yeah, as soon as the new episodes drop, I listen to them. Or
Same.
if I don't have the chance to listen to them, the first chance I do, I listen to it.
It is called Pretending to be People.
So it's an actual play podcast, which for me, I have to take to Reddit and stuff like that to find actual play podcasts because iTunes does not give them a section.
No, and I'm glad that Quincey showed me this one.
So it's an actual play podcast. Do you remember what system they're running?
Delta Green.
Delta Green, that's right. So they're running Delta Green, and they're doing, it's kind of Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft-esque meets...
A small town of contention.
Yep. It's about 3 police officers in the small town contention dealing with all the weird shit that's going on.
And it just keeps getting weirder.
Yeah.
The twists that are minorly suggested at like every other episode are actually really good.
Yeah.
And you've got the rookie cop who comes from the big city and is like, wait, you guys don't know my real last name? Not yet. And then it's like, wait, he has another last name? And then
it's got its serious moments, but it's also got its entirely just goofy craziness.
I would like to take this hat. And then the hat, and he's like, yeah, I want to take this deer head and put it on my head.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god, okay, yeah, you take it, sure enough.
The newest episode dropped on Monday. It was a 41-minute episode, and I feel like they got nothing done.
They a couple first aid checks and just a lot of screwing around. They got a couple clues.
3 people looking at a piano before someone finally figured out what was going on with it, but not entirely.
They had an idea.
It's a lot of fun. It's 4 friends. It's definitely different than a lot of what's out there.
I do like their intro to it, though. Even though you have a problem with their intro.
No, I don't have a problem with their intro.
a small nitpick with their intro.
So their intro is set up to be like a radio host. He's Wolf the dog.
Wolf the dog.
He's fun. He's goofy. They play a song every single time. And that's fine, because shows have opening songs, and I've got no problems with that. But there was one point where he told me that there was something new from the band, and I got excited, because it's a legitimate band that they're playing the song for. And then they played the same song, and I was like, oh.
It's Kutsu with backbone.
No
backbone.
Yeah. Good Wolf the Dog impression.
Oh, yeah.
But
I've been working on it.
So you hear us talk a lot about, mostly you talk a lot about Critical Role.
Yes.
And we've got nothing wrong with Critical Role. Critical Role is great.
I love it.
But for me, I got tired of all the D&D podcasts there are, and I think Critical Role is one of the only ones I accept anymore, because there's so many D&D podcasts.
Yeah.
So finding Pretending to be People is a lot of fun, having it be set in Delta Green. And there's more that I've had you try out, and some haven't hit, and some have, so...
The other one that hit is the Call of Cthulhu Mystery Hour.
Yeah, that one's done by...
The mystery show.
That one's done by the New Nerdy Show Network.
Yeah, and it starts off hitting all the right notes with the scratchy record,
old-timey radio thing,
and I'm just like, okay, all right. This show is brought to you by the great people at the Nerd News Network, that sort of thing. I'm like, oh my god, that's great.
So, I mean, one thing that made us want to do a podcast was the fact that we like podcasts already.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like the concept of whenever one of us finds a podcast, having the other listen to it and talk about it on the episode. Gives us something else to talk about, and hopefully we'll give exposure to other podcasts.
Because this one needs more.
Yeah,
this one
Pretending to be People definitely needs more. They don't have a big enough audience yet, because I've only got one person I can make jokes with about it.
Yeah.
that's sad. Like, I want to be able to go on Twitter and make a Pretending to be People joke and have people flock to it.
Just the number of likes. I mean, the idea of 3 cops who have nothing to do with the occult just get pulled into this occult feeling, and they're just like, what do we do?
And
what is going
all
on?
3 are very much their own character.
Oh, yeah.
They're not alike at all. They have very little things in common other than being police officers.
Yeah. Bishop is probably the most unique, considering he's the most plain Jane.
Yeah.
He doesn't do anything outgoing.
13 years on the force, or 16 years on the force, something like that.
Goes home, eats his Salisbury steak, watches Wheel of Fortune, goes to bed.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden he gets pulled into this whole thing and then has these strange dreams.
So, I give this one a thumbs up.
I give this one a huge thumbs up.
I don't want to... Well, we shouldn't say thumbs up. That's a Roger Ebert thing.
I don't care.
I like this one A lot. We'll give it a coffee mug.
We'll give it a coffee mug.
There we go.
We'll give it a full coffee mug.
Yeah. I do have to warn you, they do have poop and fart jokes.
They have the poop fart jokes. They got the disgusting, and be aware it is not for the faint of heart.
No,
this gets a little bit gory.
It gets gory. It's definitely not a family podcast, but it's fun.
It's even if unless your family is into that sort of thing, I mean, go for it.
Well, I mean, I don't think a kid should necessarily listen to it.
Certain ones I would say are okay.
There's talks of drugs.
There's talks of drugs. There's talks of use of drugs.
There's talks of faces getting fucked up.
There's talks of faces getting fucked up. There's talks of fingers getting lodged into rib cages.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets worse than that. There is much
It's
worse.
a little everywhere.
At least a minimum of 1 death per episode.
Well, and the other thing
I wish I was joking too. Holy shit! No,
I don't think anyone died in the newest episode because it was a recovery episode.
It was they figured out the names of certain bodies.
Good point. So one of the things that I also like about this is they edit out certain things and whatnot, but sometimes they leave in the moments of the friends just being friends and having be nothing with the story.
Yeah.
And it does remind me of certain moments in my experience with either just hanging out with friends or doing D&D sessions.
Yeah, when we were doing D&D and then all of a sudden the Postmate guy pops up with Jordy's food.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were just sitting there talking about
go get your food.
the vegan food. And,
but there's a part in
like,
this
I like
that reminds
vegan
me of
food.
This part reminds me of my brother when we were playing D&D. And there's a part in the show that this is basically verbatim my brother. Something had come from the sky, and so one of them's like, okay, well, I look up. And they're like, well, you didn't actually see it. And he goes, oh, okay, then I don't look up.
And then
and then another player goes, okay, so it came from the sky. And he goes, okay, then I look up. It's 100% my brother. So I think that we need more things like this. And not to say that the more serious actual plays I've listened to aren't fun either.
I really want to do something like this. Like I don't necessarily want to do Call of Cthulhu or anything like that. I mean, I would love to, but I want to do something. I really do. I have this mind that's slowly beginning to become a vacuum for all of this. And I for some odd reason, I feel like I will never become burned out of it. And I want to export it onto people. I want to throw it at people.
So my first experience with podcasts was 2. It was Welcome to Night Vale.
Okay, that's a good one.
Fat Man on Batman.
Now, Night Vale is probably the big one that everyone knows.
Yeah, Night Vale's audio drama.
And Fat Man on Batman is
Kevin Smith's all Batman show. It eventually became a nerd news show. Not exactly like what we're doing because he's not into video games and stuff like that. But
yeah.
It became a nerd news show, and while I still like it, and I still like him and Mark Bernardin doing it, the early episodes of Fat Man on Batman are the best when he's interviewing Kevin Conroy and Tara Strong and Mark Hamill and people like that.
Oh, wow. When you were in Hollywood, you have the connections.
Yeah, well, Hamill was in one of his movies. So
I know.
He played Cockknocker.
But,
so then I started discovering actual plays, and I was like, this is interesting. And the first thing I discovered was One Shot Podcast, and then from there it was the Campaign Podcast, and then Critical Role, and it kind of started spiraling out of control, and the majority of it ended up being D&D, and then we did D&D, and now I'm like, okay, I'm tired of D&D, what else is there? And that's why I started discovering things of Call of Cthulhu, Ghostbusters Resurrection,
Delta Green
with pretending to be people. And I gotta say, if you want something to put you in a completely different mindset other than D&D, pretending to be people is a great one.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep listening and keep seeing where this crazy adventure goes. We're 21 episodes in now, right?
Yeah, and it gets released once a week.
Yeah, I think once a week, every Monday. I want to say
the episodes are at least 40 minutes long.
They've got longer episodes, shorter episodes. Yeah. They don't really set a specific time.
I mean, it seems to be from good arc, from where like the cliffhanger is to another cliffhanger, minor cliffhanger.
Yeah, they try to find good spots to cut the story,
or like flashback scenes.
Yeah. So we'll move on to Sekiro Shadows Die Twice.
I mean, I love the game. The meme of this game needs an easy mode is really bothersome to me, but it sold 2 million copies, so I don't care.
In 10 days.
2
million copies in 10 days. That's a pretty large number.
That's pretty good. I remember seeing on Twitter a follow-through story of a person buying the game, popping it in, and saying, bro, I'm returning this. And then someone commented right below that said, bro, it's only been 4 hours.
Like,
and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. I'll admit the game isn't for everyone. It does have its hard difficulty spikes, but
it's got.
I like it for what it is.
It's a Dark Souls.
It is
in the difficulty range.
I would say it's actually harder than that.
Okay, I was going in the it's hopeless, you're gonna die.
No, with Dark Souls, you can learn. With Sekiro, you only have one major weapon, and that's it. So you can't sword and board it. You can't do major rolls with iframes. The iframes in this game work a little different.
So just run past everything then.
I mean, it's kind of hard to do that when everything kills you in about one hit if you run into something wrong. But I've seen someone run through most of an area. Critical. His name is Critical. He runs through accidentally trying to find one of the bonfires of the game, a shrine, an idol. And he's just like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, shit. You know, he's high horsing it, and he passes by all these creatures and all these enemies, and he's like, where the fuck? And then, like, he spends a good maybe 8 minutes just running past all these things, just going. And he finally finds one, and then he's like, oh, I don't like this place. Oh, I don't like this place at all. How did I get here?
That was me when I first started playing Vampire, because I had heard don't kill anyone.
Vampire.
And I didn't realize that was don't kill anyone outside of combat. So the first stint of combat, I'm just booking it past everyone. Like, no, fuck. Because you kill the first person I killed, my character's like, oh god, I'm sorry. I'm like, I messed up the don't kill thing. No, it's outside of combat, so I just ran past everyone. But I mean,
if it works,
2 million copies in 10 days.
Good job.
How did the Souls games do? Did they do anything like this?
Dark Souls 3 did about that, I'm sure. Let me bless you.
Thank you. I am just a hazard of sneezing, choking on coffee, exploding today.
Let's see how many copies. It's 3 million copies over its course of lifetime for Dark Souls 3.
5 in North America. Yeah. Europe and North America.
Yeah, so, I mean, 3 million worldwide. I think that's pretty good.
The Dark Souls series has done 13 million total, it says. Yeah, the Dark Souls series 2, 13 million.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's across all 3 games.
Well, and maybe Bloodborne.
Maybe Bloodborne.
Maybe, because Soulsborns, I will admit, they're very good. I love all of them. I've played them all. Even Front... Oh, God, I forgot. I gotta figure out.
I've only played a little bit of Dark Souls 1 and then Bloodborne. That's my experience with Souls games.
Yeah, I've played them all. I don't remember what the... Metal Wolf Chaos. Jesus.
Is that one...
Yep, that's from
just as hard?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's very unique in its delivery. This is its upcoming variant. It got a reimagining. Devolver bought. Well, I don't want to say bought it, but they did a handshake to basically make it better. You are the president of the United States. You now have a giant mecha robot. Go save the free world.
Alrighty then.
Yeah. And there are some key lines in this game. Richard! It's over the top. It's cheesy. It's for America, man. That's all I can say. Like,
yeah, well, we just had a plane fly right by on this trailer. Just United States of America, right as you said, for America.
Yeah, and
bring it to one PlayStation 4 and PC.
Yeah, it's already out and about. I think it's $20. MechAmericaGreatAgain.com.
That's terrible.
That is terrible, but it's self-informative. It's just a random shooter beat 'em up style, but it is quite difficult toward the later levels, if I recall correctly. Devolver also helped publish it, and it will be coming out sometime this year, but I want to say the console variant's already out. It doesn't showcase when or how or if, but coming soon. So it doesn't exactly give us a time if it is, but I thought it was. I thought we saw that, or did we just see the on the Xbox that it was just backwards compatible?
It might have been backwards compatible.
Okay, I think that might have been what I saw.
They've brought a lot of original Xbox games backwards compatible recently, which I'm all for. That's kind of cool, you know.
And Metal Wolf Chaos is just that. But I'm glad that it's getting a redux, because that's one of those games that deserves it. But all of the Soulsborne games, Metal Wolf Chaos, all those games are great. The only one I actually could say I had a hard time with would be Demon's Souls, which is rumored to be getting something updated, but I'm not gonna lean toward that one. I honestly don't think I would get Demon's Souls redo. But speaking of not wanting to get it,
Okay, so this one's some sad news here. You want to hit refresh so that we can ensure that number's still correct?
you got it. Oh God, the fact that yes,
Yep, has not changed. So Hellboy is getting destroyed by critics. It's currently at 11% freshness, and I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast yet. I feel like I might have. I don't like Rotten Tomatoes, and I don't normally go to them for anything. But considering they're at 91 reviews at 11% for critics, that's pretty rough.
Let's check Metacritic.
My whole thing is I don't like reviews in general for movies because normally people are talking out of their ass. Yeah. So Metacritic is at 31 for Hellboy. This is the new 2019 Hellboy, not connected to the originals. It comes out tomorrow. So these are just the critics that have gotten to see it before everyone. I've even read critics going as far to say as it's just a mess that throws things at you with no coherent story.
That's not good.
Which, watching the trailer, after hearing that, I'm like, I can see that.
Yeah, I feel like it gave away a lot because at the bridge it showed like an eldritch horror. I'm like, that's super cool. But what are you showing? I feel like you're showing me like some endgame stuff.
Yeah.
You know, you're showing me some of the literal endgame trilogies.
We seriously have no idea what this movie's about based off of the trailer. We know that it's... I mean, they've got a summary out that you can read about the Blood Queen and everything, but the trailer does not explain any of that.
No.
And summary is what someone's going to release out officially, telling you this is what the movie's about. So they're going to tell you the story they try to tell you. It doesn't mean they told you that story.
And I've heard no Abe.
I haven't seen Abe in anything. I haven't heard anything about Abe. I haven't seen him. He's not listed on IMDb. I don't think they put Abe in at all.
Abe is one of his best friends because he's an outcast that has to kind of stick it.
I gotta be honest. I freaked out the first time I watched Hellboy because I thought Abe was gonna die. I was panicking in my seat watching the first Hellboy.
Abe is a good boy.
I love it. I love Abe, and I love the actor that played Abe.
But yeah, I don't think we're gonna see it. As much as
this sucks because I like Hellboy.
I love Hellboy.
I wanted to see this do well for Harbour. David Harbour. I wanted to see it do well for him. I mean, it doing well for Mila doesn't really matter because it's Mila Jovovich. She's got plenty of roles, you know. But I feel like Harbour's kind of worked his way in all of our hearts between Stranger Things and whatnot.
And trying to do it with Hellboy, but it makes me wonder, like, how hard did he try for this role? Considering
he was excited. I know that.
Oh yeah, he was hype, and he looks good. He doesn't look necessarily bad.
I noticed something today when we watched trailers. The hair's wonky.
The hair's a little wonky,
which isn't on him.
But when he gets the full horns and the fire, I was like, oh, that's fucking metal. Oh, that's fucking cool. But then it's like, I did not follow the trailer. And then another movie that has been getting some good notice, Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam's. Everyone's saying it's good. It's 71 on Metacritic right now.
71 Metacritic, 81 on Rotten Tomatoes.
I mean, but like I said, I won't take critic reviews or Metacritic reviews and
you'll take them with just the grain of salt that people see it and they see that, so you'll take it into the mind to say that that's what they give it. But I'm gonna go in with my own.
I'm gonna go watch it on my own and make my own decisions, whatnot.
Okay.
I mean, for instance. This is going to be a weird pool, but I read the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for 8 Crazy Nights, just out of curiosity. And because it was just low, terrible numbers, and I was like, I want to see why people hate it. And I saw one that said it was a step back in animation. And I'm like, the animation in that movie was pretty good.
Semi-adequate. Like there was no like actual shading. There was no actual like shadows cast unless it was for the musical numbers. It didn't seem to have nothing too stellar. And also, deers shitting themselves. I'm sorry. That one.
Why does that make the? Why does that? How does that make the animation bad?
Someone had to draw that.
Yeah, someone had to draw that, but I mean, people draw fucked up shit all the time. Look at what Tumblr used to be.
Okay, all right, all right. You hit me with that. That's fine.
So my point is like people will say things just because they don't like it and they're looking for a reason not to like it. I'm not saying that's the case with Hellboy. It very well could be bad.
Yeah.
But you just pulled up the Metacritic score for Hellboy, the
2004
Ron Perlman one.
Yeah, the original. And we're watching the trailer right now, and
you get the story. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Like that's one of the things that I'm also noticing about the new Hellboy is it's like. All the trailers, it's just fire everywhere.
Fire and fighting.
Like, what is this? Like, it's just fire.
And then in this one, you got him doing a fight scene It's the subway scene. You see him holding something. You're like, what
Where
is he
grabs-
holding?
Yeah, he's holding the box under his one arm, and he grabs Sam's tongue with the other.
The box
It's the
of
box of
puppies?
kittens.
Oh, kittens.
Which that's another thing I haven't seen in the new Hellboy trailers. Like, are we doing the cat thing?
Are we doing that the Babe Ruth thing? Because they actually established him as a character in the original Hellboy, where the first thing he eats is a Babe Ruth, so he falls in love with it. He enjoys cats. He enjoys, old-timey music. What else?
He
Like-
loves his big ass pistol.
Yeah, he loves his weaponry that is very interesting. He's not very dexterous, but at
Yeah,
the same time, he's just strong.
I wouldn't say he's clumsy,
but
he's,
big.
not doing backflips and landing his jumps and shit like that. Like, he's doing what he has to do, and it's not going well.
Yeah. And then we watched the major scene from the subway.
Yeah, it still has the original had its comedy where he's stuck underneath the subway car, and it's smack him in the horns the whole time, and you're seeing the sparks fly, and then when he sits up, his horns are like glowing red.
Yeah.
And he touches it and burns his hand. Like, the movie was fun and made you care about the characters. I was freaking out for Abraham. I was freaking out for the professor. I was worried what was going to happen to the girl. I can't remember her name. You know who I'm talking about. His love interest in it. It's based on her name. But I was worried what was going to happen to her. Like, I cared about these characters. I cared about this movie.
And then the second one happened, and we got lost.
No, I even enjoyed the second one. It's
Second one
it ended on a cliffhanger is the problem.
It ended on a major cliffhanger, but the first portion of that was just clumsy because you had a guy who wanted to rule the Golden Army, the sister who wanted to hide it all away because she was the key, and then you had a very, very estranged power struggle, and then you had a love interest between the princess and Abe. And I'm like, okay, that's a good arc, but then they kind of fucked it up in the middle.
Yeah.
And then you had Abe get drunk for the first time.
What I also liked about the sequel, though, is we finally got to see the world for the creatures that he's not hunting down and killing. That they had shops
the
and
underworld.
alleyways. They had, like, this whole thing.
Yeah.
This is the stuff that the rest of the... What's the group called? I'm spacing on their name. The Bureau.
BAPD?
Yeah, something like that. We got to see what they would have to be dealing with when he's not around. Which I would love to see...
BPRD.
BPRD. I'd love to see a BPRD show. Because BPRD has its own comic run, too, outside of Hellboy.
You are correct.
So, we'll move on to another movie, though. Unless there's anything else you wanted to say about Hellboy.
Movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
No.
No?
One more over.
Oh, that one.
There you go.
Okay.
So I went and saw Pet Sematary on Sunday.
Okay. I saw the original a long time ago, and I remember being very young when I saw the original, so my mind wasn't too good with it, and I remember having nightmares of this distinctive movie. Do you think that anyone of the age of, I think it was like 8, if a person of age of 8 watched this movie, would they have nightmares?
Probably not.
Okay. What about the original?
Probably.
Okay.
It's been a while since I've seen the original, to be fair.
Okay.
Now, I didn't get scared by the original. I was uneasy by the original.
Yeah, the uneasiness was probably the major.
Now, I went and watched this one, and I enjoyed it. I don't think it was bad. I haven't read the book. I'm going to be honest. I have not read Pet Sematary. So there's parts that are in this where I'm like, I don't like them unless they're in King's book. If they're in King's book, I'm all for it. Just because it was his vision, I'm a little confused why it did get an R rating, right? Can you double check?
I believe
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
I'm a little confused why it got an R rating considering most of the bloody scenes, that's in quotations, happen off camera.
Oh.
And the word fuck's only said twice.
You want more fuck?
I mean,
You honestly want more fuck?
I don't necessarily want more fuck, but I'm like, okay, so it wasn't fuck that caused it to be an R-rated thing. I think everyone should go see it if you're a fan of Pet Sematary, at least the first movie, because this is interesting, and they shake things up a little bit for those of you that are like, oh, I've seen this before. There's some moments where you go, oh, crap, I was wrong, because it's different.
Speaking of watching it because it's different, I still want to watch with you Murder on the Orient.
Oh, okay, yeah, Murder on the Orient's a good one.
Yeah.
King says it was scary, and
You didn't see it.
You
didn't see that vision.
Yeah, I don't find it scary. But I don't think it was a bad movie. it's getting 53s and 60s and stuff like that on like the 58 on Rotten Tomatoes, 57 on Metacritic, 72 on Google, 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb.
So that's
it's about down the road and
nothing too spectacular, which kind of bums me out.
Now, one fun thing I can say about it is Church the cat is played by like 3 or 4 different cats. They're all rescues.
Oh, okay.
And they were all adopted out afterwards, including one of the pet handlers took one home with her. So that was fun.
That gets a thumbs up from me.
And they brought one of the cats to the premiere, got them all cleaned up, and put a little bow tie or something like that on them, I think. So that was fun.
Okay.
It wasn't bad. I don't know. I felt like maybe I was expecting too much.
I mean, maybe, considering it's not necessarily... Is it just a redo? Not necessarily like a self-envision? I guess without reading the book, you wouldn't really know.
There's enough things from the original that I feel like if it has to be that those things are in the book, because why else would they put them in their movie if they just because they were in the original movie when this all comes from a book? So it's a remake, it's a reboot, however you want to look at it. It's just I think my issue is that all these Stephen King projects are being redone now because we can get away with more, and they didn't get away with more in this.
Let me actually look up one thing real quick.
Because they redid it. Dark Tower's getting its rebirth now, if that's what you're looking up.
Yeah.
So they did the Dark Tower movie, which did not do well, so now Amazon bought Dark Tower and is doing a TV series with it. Mm-hmm. And when they announced the casting of the gunslinger, that's actually when Idris Elba found out that he was no longer going to be the gunslinger. He didn't even know that they given up on the sequel.
God, what is with all of
that's what happened with Lillard and Scooby-Doo. He didn't know he was out as Shaggy until they announced the next casting.
And he's like, well, fine, then I'll release a $500 fucking Dungeons.
You want to talk about that really
quick?
I
would love to talk about
that really quick.
Okay, so Matthew Lillard, not too long ago, about November of last year, released a $500 platinum box for the Waterdeep Dragon Heist, and I just watched him open it last night. It was the video was on IGN, and it was in December, and I never noticed it. I was like, oh geez, I'm in that small problem of some subscriptions aren't coming up on my YouTube feed, and that's a problem. That's a problem for another time. But I missed it, and I finally watched it, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! If I have $500 to throw at this, it comes with the basic book. It comes with the a bunch of figures. It comes with maps for days. It comes with a thank you letter, and he even made a very special company that sells this called Beetle. And oh no,
you forgot this earlier when you were telling me about it.
Beetle too. And
I keep thinking of Harry
Grimm.
Potter.
Beetle and Grimm.
I keep thinking of Beetle Bard from Harry Potter every time you say it.
I do too. I'm not a big fan of Harry Potter, but
there goes our listening base.
Yeah, I know. I mean, shit. But like, I fucking love it. They've put so much work into both the Silver Edition, which just comes with the paper things, not necessarily the figures or anything excess, and then you got the Platinum version, which is the big box. And this thing is this massive tome-looking thing that opens up, and like even Lillard lifted up and on top of the table. You know, he made it clear that this was weighty. And you get all these character cards that are made, what look to be on this paper stock, and literally it's just sitting there fucking whipping these around at the producer. He's like, yeah, you get these. Yeah, here's a fucking monster for you. You know, he was having a great time opening it. And I'm like, I want to hang out with Matthew Lillard at least once.
I already wanted to because he
Shaggy.
was, Shaggy. And then he's also Stu in Scream.
Oh, yeah, of course. And he was in Wing Commander.
Yeah, was he?
He was.
Okay. So I wasn't big for Wing Commander.
To be fair, Wing Commander's not that great of a movie, but I will still remember that. He was also in...
He's been in a lot.
He's been in a lot of things, and he makes a really great Shaggy, of course.
Him being Stu just dates back to... Scream was the first movie I saw in theaters. I was 3 years old. Wow. Now everyone knows how old I am, but I was 3 years old. Me, my aunt, and my mom went to the drive-in and watched Scream.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure on her parenting choices.
I mean, one of my first ones, I think, was The Shining.
With Nicholson?
Mm-hmm.
So, I grow up
I
with
don't
this
remember
guy as Stu, and then I see him in other things, whether it's She's All That or it's was it Summer Catch, and then his appearances on many different TV shows, including shows like Leverage, which I watched, and then he ends up being the live action Shaggy. He ends up voicing Shaggy for a while. Like, this guy has just been a connection to my life throughout. Oh, SLC Punk.
Oh yeah, fuck.
Yeah, he's Steve-O in SLC Punk. He's been there every time I turn around for something I like, and now he's obsessed with D&D, and I'm like, really? Like, holy crap, Lillard again.
Yeah, and he does fantastic work. He seems to honestly be wanting to handshake with Wizards of the Coast to make these products better than they already are. The only downside is $175 for the silver edition and $500 for the platinum edition.
If I had the money, I could see doing it.
I would fucking I would take that thick stack of ones and just rain it over him. Like, real talk. I mean, he is a powerful godsend for the nerd community right now. And he was on I may have already made mention of it, but I'm going to mention it again. He was on Relics and Rarities.
You did, yeah.
Oh my god.
He's a fun guy. I read an interview with him about where he ended up making some big life decisions, and basically they sold the house, the cars, and everything, and he started over because while he's had his career this whole time, he isn't the blockbuster actor, So he made a big life change, and it worked out for him, and he started doing roles he liked rather than the roles that paid and things like that. So now we're going to move on to this here that you got up. Now, I first heard about this on Twitter from Fandom.
Jesus.
And I made a comment that got a little bit of traction, and I was like, "Aw, that really wasn't that funny." But they're making a Grease prequel.
But with this prequel, is it going to be modern times?
No, because I would assume not, because the prequel is supposed to be about Danny and Sandy's summer lovin', like them meeting.
Oh.
Him saving her because she almost drowned.
Okay.
And what they did over the summer.
Oh, okay.
I
mean, sure, whatever. If you want to, fine. I just worry about how it's gonna.
Grease 2 is crap.
Grease 2
I'm
is
just gonna say it.
Yeah, I saw the Metacritic while you were changing your pants from after your little cough accident.
You didn't have to take it there.
I had to.
When I choked on the coffee, it soaked my pants, and I had to get new pants. Shut up. Grease 2 was crap. Everyone loves Grease. I love Grease. I didn't bother watching when they did Grease live because to me it's
the same thing.
No, to me I can't see someone other than Travolta.
Really?
It's Travolta to me, which is hilarious because he auditioned for Danny on Broadway and didn't get it. He got one of the other greasers, and then when he becomes the actor that he is now, he becomes Danny. Yeah. And then it's is it Olivia Newton? I want to say yeah. For Sandy, to me they're Danny and Sandy. I can't see anyone else.
I don't.
But this prequel it's so unneeded.
I don't. Yeah.
It kind of goes to the whole fact that I feel like Hollywood's running out of ideas.
But then at the same time, there are people who have ideas. There are some people who would probably come up with something if you give them a chance.
Yeah, but Hollywood doesn't want to give people a chance.
They don't want to. No, they don't want to take risks, and they're worried that any educated risk would actually showcase a negative in budget or otherwise. And they're like, "You're not going to pull the money? No, thank you. You don't have any way to show us that this money will be made. No, we are not going to let you make your movie."
It's this crazy thing that studios feel like you have to spend millions of dollars to make movies, and how many amazing movies have we seen that have spent so much less?
Blair Witch Project,
Clerks.
Clerks, yeah.
He actually, Kevin Smith, when he was doing Mallrats, I do believe it was, because that one was done with involved with Universal. He goes in and tells them his budget, and it was like next to nothing. I want to say it was like maybe $3 million, because they had to rent out the mall, and they said real movies don't get made for that low. And they weren't going to give him that low of a budget. They were going to give him a higher budget, and he's like, I don't understand. I'm asking you for less money, and you're giving me shit and telling me you're going to give me more money. And it's this weird thing about Hollywood. And we see it all the time. We see movies that, they spend millions of dollars on. You stop and kind of go, there were no special effects in that movie. Why was it a $20 million movie? Like
because he was forced to take the $20 million.
You know, like whatever the case ends up being. You know, Sundance is filled with amazing movies that are made on next to nothing.
Yeah.
So I don't understand Hollywood right now, and I don't understand Grease the prequel about their Summer Lovin' and whatnot. So did you want to talk your WWU stuff?
I'm just gonna briefly say, there is one of my favorite YouTubers is a part of this thing called Because Science, and it features one of my favorite wrestlers, even though he's no longer a wrestler, CM Punk, and it does the science behind the moves of Mortal Kombat 11. So I think they did like a small handshake with NetherRealm, but Alan Pan, I think his name is, yes, Alan Pan. And he is a genius. I love him to death. He was also featured on William Osman, and because he fell asleep and he had to do a podcast with someone else, and he slept through his alarm or didn't set it. So William Osman made this treasury cat that has the paw that goes up and down.
Yeah.
And what it does is it plays an annoying sound of his voice with a higher pitch going to knock off a cup and break a cup after a certain period of time to help wake up Alan, so that way he doesn't sleep in anymore. So, I mean, he loves working with people. He loves being a collaborator with scientific means.
Really quick, while we're on the subject of insane alarm clocks, I watched a video where Terry Crews talked about that his alarm clock is his pillow. He's got a pillow that vibrates when it's time for him to get up. And I'm like, I can see that, unless it lulls me right back to sleep.
I mean, real talk, I think it would just be the most relaxing thing, unless the vibrations were that of an earthquake.
Yeah. And then I saw the alarm clock someone posted online where it's a hand slapping you in the face until you turn it off.
No, I would not want, no, that would actually agitate me beyond all reason. And then there's
like Clocky or whatever it's called, the one that runs away from you.
Yeah, and then you got the one that you have to pick up a infrared pistol and shoot it.
Yeah.
And so you have to wake up, take actual aim, and do it.
But sorry, back to what you were saying about this guy's sciencey stuff.
It's just that he's helping out with the science behind CM Punk's. Yeah, so I'm like,
that's cool.
I mean, it's good to know the physics of fist meets face meets no face after that.
Yeah,
I love that. Other than that, nothing too much as far as wanting to go into depth on it. I mean, go check it out. I believe it airs on the 15th on the Because Science channel.
So did you... Sorry. Did you...
Does coffee make you bubble?
Yeah, apparently. Did you want to cover WrestleMania at all, since it just happened? You watched it. I only caught the highlights.
I watched it. I enjoyed it. But there were some scenes that I felt were very lackluster. Like the main event where it was Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey for the unification of both the SmackDown and Raw champion. Having Ronda Rousey, spoilers for that, I mean, it's already been a little under, 5 days?
Yeah, it's all...
It's fair talk. It's fair talk. She does the Piper's Pit into... she basically leans into it and then gets pulled up into a roll-up pin with Lynch doing the roll-up. I'm like, that's a bit of a weird move, and she got pulled up in 1, 2, 3. I was like, I don't like that. I did not like that finish at all. Because it looked not like a botch, but it didn't look perfect. You know, it didn't look like it was aces. Because she left her arm there. And I was like, the 2 Piper's Pits she did before that didn't have her arm lingering, so this was staged. Great. So I rubbed my face and I said, fine, Becky Lynch is the man. That's fine. You win. You get your 2 extra medals that you didn't walk in with, because it was Charlotte defending hers and Ronda defending hers. Both of them lost to Becky Lynch. So Becky Lynch wins both medals for free.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't follow current wrestling quite like I did back in the day.
And, another thing that we all, I think, agree on is having Kurt Angle's last match be pretty much a squash match.
Well, he did his German suplex. He did 3 German suplexes in a row. He still did his angle slams, stuff like that.
And got him in the ankle lock.
Yeah, he hit his marks.
He did his spots.
But he lost, and that's kind of a WWE thing where you lose your final. And I know you don't exactly agree with that, but if you look at it, a lot of them lose their last match.
Fucking Shawn Michaels versus Ric Flair, where he says "I'm sorry" and gives him the sweet chin music.
Yep.
That's a monumental one.
Well,
But-
and that's the man he looked up to. That's the man that inspired him.
Yeah.
You know,
and then-
that'd be like Jericho having to do it to Shawn, because
Yeah.
Shawn was all Jericho was all about Shawn.
and Jericho's not retired.
No,
No, he's just not on
he's
the
doing
roster.
a podcast.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah, he's got a podcast that he does, and he talks to all kinds of wrestlers and stuff like that.
I gotta find it
Oh,
because
it's
I did listen to Stone Cold Steve Austin's for a brief minute. His opinions, I like them, but at the same time, I don't know. I listening to him without him, calling someone a dumb son of a bitch or having the crowd behind him go what? I can't.
Not being able to see the middle finger.
Yeah, I need something. So I mean, but I didn't mind it. It's just I wasn't my cup of tea.
The other one to say that they're done was after Batista lost his match to H, he tweeted that he's retired.
I mean,
So-
it's not like he had much before that, anyways.
Yeah, but I mean that's
Having-
also not really how the retirements are supposed to go out. So
Like-
I'm wondering if he's talking out of just like tired of doing it, tired of talking about it out of anger, what the case is. But he came out and he's like, I'm done.
And that match was pretty good. I actually enjoyed that match.
I have to say though, was that the main event?
No, the main event was the triple threat.
Oh, it was the triple
female.
event.
Yeah.
But this was a pretty hyped up one.
It was a good one.
And-
I liked all of the spots. The powerbomb or the superplex onto the steps, and then having Batista have to stand up afterwards and be able to take a pedigree soon after that. Fantastic spot on both parts, made them both look strong. I could talk about that entire match for the rest of this cast, but I'm not going to.
The only thing I have to say about it is this is WrestleMania, and Batista's entrance was a black SUV pulls up. Some guys in suits line the walk down, and he walks down. The pyro didn't go off when he went to do his gun
machine
thing.
guns, yeah.
And I'm like, this is a lame entrance for WWE's WrestleMania.
They give it all to Roman. They gave Roman all the fucking pyro.
Yeah, and then, H comes in that freaking insane looking vehicle. And I was like, yeah.
The fucking actual panoramic view of that desert with all the vehicles going. I was like, Jesus Christ, how much did you put into this?
That one's pretty cool. I'm like, Batista's entrance kind of got fucked. Like, what happened here? And like I said, I didn't watch WrestleMania. I just got the highlights. So I watched the entrances because WrestleMania entrances are huge. And back in the day, H would get Lemmy from, he would get Motorhead in, but Lemmy passed away.
Bow down to the king.
Lemmy passed away a few years ago. So ever since, it's been, the big chairs and the big cars and stuff like that. But it works.
It does.
It works for H.
He enjoys the whole I am the king of this place.
But I felt like this was I felt like Batista's entrance was like a small version of the John Cena one where he came in with all the Cenas.
Real talk,
Or
the Thugonomics back.
Yeah, or the John Cena one where he comes in with all the gangsters with the Tommy guns.
No, that was a good one.
Yeah, but I felt like the Batista was another one of those. And I'm like, I don't know. Like I was really upset the pyrotechnics didn't go off, and I don't know if that was supposed to happen or not because Batista looked a little annoyed that it didn't happen. So I'm wondering if someone screwed up.
Either a screw up or a misfire, because there are misfires in pyrotechnics.
But not a single pyrotechnic went off for his entrance.
No.
And that was weird.
Yeah,
So,
poor guy. But
that's really all I have to say on it.
But the Thugonomics, John Cena coming back and chewing Elias out,
Mm-hmm.
I'll admit, okay, John Cena, you're getting a good ovation from me. As much as you're a pay-to-play kind of person, you come when the money's asking. Having you come back with the Thugonomics, I will admit, you get a pass. You get your +1.
So I'm remembering back.
Oh.
You remember when ECW and WWE became a thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
When it was
The invasion angle and whatnot.
Yeah. The Montreal screw job.
No, this was before Montreal because Montreal was Brett leaving for WCW.
WCW. You're right. You were right.
There's a part where Rob Van Dam's known to be a huge pothead,
yeah.
which is pretty much against the wellness policy, I do believe.
You are correct.
He comes in and he delivers a line to Cena at one point, and this is while Cena was still Thugonomics.
Yeah.
And so Cena straight up calls him out as being a pothead, and I'm like, dude, not cool, man.
Yeah, Cena used to be really good at doing just off the wall promos, and he would call them out. For
I would
their
even say he's
behind-the-scenes
gotten
thing.
bad now. He doesn't do them now.
Yeah, back when it used to be Roman Reigns versus John Cena, like that was a good one.
Yeah,
that was good enough.
It's called a promo. If you want to play with the big dogs, you gotta learn how to do them.
Yeah, like I was like, ooh, okay, that hits hard. Okay, good. But then one of the major matches of the night that I was super excited for, just because I enjoy seeing them, and it was a squash match.
Yeah.
Was Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I got so agitated that he got reversaled on a backside Hurricane Rana, landed on his butt, and then all of a sudden, fucking Coquina clutch. And I was like, what? What? Give him a fight. Like, this is WrestleMania. If he's hurt because of that twisted ankle he suffered about a week ago, fucking replace him with Andrade. Oh, Andrade's hurt too. Okay, then replace him with like you gotta find someone else if it's actually that bad.
I'm gonna be honest. I just don't like Samoa Joe. He from what I understand, he hurts people for real a lot, like in ways that they shouldn't be. Like, people get hurt in the ring. That's fine.
Yeah, but he does it in botched ways.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, learn to do your fucking moves.
Yeah,
like you're getting paid to fucking be here and perform. Be here and perform the proper way. But I love Ray, so to hear that Ray's match didn't go well, that sucks.
Yeah, I love Ray too.
Also, I love that Ray's a nerd.
Oh yeah,
all the different costumes he's done between Flash and whatnot.
Booyaka booyaka.
But yeah, I didn't watch WrestleMania, so there's nothing really much else I can say about that. So this one you've got pulled up, this next subject, I know nothing about. So I'm gonna let you talk.
I love JRPGs. It's just I haven't had the time to play the JRPGs.
Would you say that's your favorite genre?
No.
Okay.
My favorite genre would probably be puzzle. I do enjoy puzzlers more. I enjoy point-and-click adventures. I enjoy puzzlers more. But this is up there. The old school JRPG stylings, and this one is more centered around story than fighting. But fighting, if you want to, stay on top of your game. Octopath Traveler heads to PC. It's been leaked by Square Enix, even though there has not been an announcement, so it is technically a leak because there was no announcement. And it says for June 7th on the Steam store, and I'm like, okay.
With a release date that close, why not just announce it?
Well, I mean,
I'm wondering if maybe they were told they're not allowed to because they're making a big deal about it going to Switch.
Well, the whole thing was it was announced, but it got deleted. So it was announced, it just disappeared. So oofles. So I don't know, but I'm hoping it comes out to be actual and truthful because real talk, I will pay $60 for it. Even though I'm pretty sure it's not going to charge $60, because I think Octopath Traveler for the Switch is like $50, I believe. But I am excited. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I fucking.
And now you get to have it sooner because we don't have Switch money right now.
Oh no, we do not have Switch money right now.
So
speaking of which, please support us on Patreon, so that way we may be able to bring you more content, such as an actual play.
or so that we could just go and play a Switch. No.
Oh god.
No. Anything that comes through the Patreon, first thing first is improving the network.
Improving the network.
Improving Ugly Mugs Productions or whatever we want to call this.
Yes.
I want to talk about this. Not next. We'll talk about the other tab.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, DC has delayed some comics. Doomsday Clock issue 10 has been delayed for another month. No, sorry, another 2 months. And then there's Batman Damned, the final issue. This will wrap up the Batman Damned set. Has been delayed for another month. This is not the first time Batman Damned's been delayed. So, what the fuck is going on? Like, especially when you're ending something, get it the fuck out. Like, I have to say, I like comic books more when it comes to them ending things because they're normally allowed to properly end versus like a TV show or a movie that doesn't get its sequel or something like that. But give us the damn content.
But then at the same time, you have to also have an idea. Maybe they have an internal conflict that we're not aware of.
I mean, you've got hundreds of writers and artists.
Yeah, what if there's a big conflict that's saying, hey, you guys aren't getting paid?
True, but if that was the case, I feel like we'd hear about it. I feel like people be on strike and shit. You know, I don't know. I'm tired of delays happening like this. And this isn't even the first time DC's had to delay shit. Obviously, for the amount of years they've been open, but this is the second time they've delayed Damned. Like I said, they've now delayed issue 10 of Doomsday Clock. But back when they were doing the next set of Frank Miller's Dark Knight series, those kept getting delayed too, multiple times across multiple issues.
Maybe it's a post-editing issue that's actually showcasing an actual problem.
I don't know what it is.
I mean, it could be a multitude of things, but I do agree with you that, yeah, if there was something wrong, tell your fans about it because you have people waiting for this.
Like, let us know why it's freaking done. And so, go back down really quick. A little further. No, I lost where it was. Right there. Okay, so Doomsday number 9 was delayed until March 6th also. So 9 was delayed, and now 10's been delayed. Making the latest in the series of incremental. Thank you. Delays for the issue. So this is the follow-up to Frank Miller's The Watchmen, and you've got Jeff Johns, who is amazing and been in the industry for a very long time. Gary Frank and Brad Anderson, also very amazing guys. So I don't understand why with these three running, this thing is running into issues.
I mean, it even says that the comic itself is set for bi-monthly, which means every 2 months.
Yeah. But
that's, even still, that gives you enough time, but having a delay on a bi-monthly comic, this is strange.
Yeah. We can't give you answers that we don't have, but I can say that I am not pulling Doomsday, and I am not pulling Damaged. I'm going to wait for trades.
Yeah, I think I would also, if I wanted to, because I've heard about the Batman Damned a bunch of times before this, but I did not know about the delays. But I think I would do the trade for that, because that seems like a good read.
Yeah, and like I said, with Damned being the final issue, now you're just gonna piss people off. Not only are you ending something, but you can't even get it out to them on time.
Yeah, you're taking your time telling us.
And like I said with Doomsday Clock, it's been delayed. This most recent delay is a 2-month delay. Not a week or a couple of days. 2 fucking months longer that people are waiting. It's ridiculous. It's not appropriate. Yeah. So now this is the last major news thing that we have. Mm-hmm. So we had news for this, and then they kind of just kept releasing shit.
And we honestly couldn't keep up with it because it's big.
They're doing a big announcement today, basically. So Disney Plus just released all kinds of information. Disney Plus is the new Disney subscription service, the streaming service.
Yeah. And they are pulling anything that's in the vault immediately available on the service.
So originally they said vault, is what I heard. Now they're guaranteeing on launch that at least the signature collection will be available. So the signatures, the big ends, Aladdin, Cinderella, things like that, Pinocchio. But also with that, we're getting The Mandalorian. That'll be available on launch day, as well as several other of their like older stuff and a few newer things. So I like that they're launching the service with new content, not just old content. We don't have a price yet, sadly.
Yeah, we don't, but I mean, it rumors at $6.99 a month.
Yeah, well, we got a $6.99 a month rumor, which is a really good price.
That's a pretty good.
And I'm assuming the reasoning why they're able to do such a low price is because everything they're putting on there, they own.
Yeah, now they do, because they're also throwing Simpsons on there.
Are they?
I believe I've heard the rumor. I mean, this is all rumor and speculation, but we're trying to keep it all clean. If that they're like even showcases here in this that
if they put Simpsons on there, I feel like that will kill the FX streaming service.
Or maybe they worked a deal with that and pulled that in too.
I think they own it now.
Yeah, so I mean they might just throw that in.
But it will. There will be sections based off of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic, which I did not realize they owned. So you'll be able to search by the things there. There's the images that they showed today are showing that you'll also be able to stream A New Hope at launch, as well as things like Captain Marvel and several other Marvel-based things.
So, I mean, if you haven't seen Captain Marvel up to that point, you can see it at home for $6.99 and have a multitude of other things to watch that is Disney Now affiliated, which involves all the Marvel things, all of the Star Wars things, and a few new projects such as The Mandalorian at launch.
Mandalorian, and then they're also doing. We're going to be getting a Winter Soldier Falcon show,
and
we're getting a Hawkeye show. We're getting a Vision Scarlet Witch show. Which now they own Fox, they can finally start calling her Scarlet Witch. They don't call her Scarlet Witch in the movies because Scarlet Witch is a mutant.
Oh, because she's owned as a mutant.
Quicksilver wasn't called Quicksilver
it makes me
either.
wonder if they're actually going to start busting out more X-Men things.
I hope so.
I hope so too. Maybe even a Fantastic Four show. Because I mean,
I'd be down for it.
I'd be down for it too. Have you finally seen the latest Fantastic Four movie?
No, I'm not going to watch that.
Okay.
I have no interest in watching that.
That's fine.
I will go back and watch Rise of the Silver Surfer before I watch that.
Oh.
Yeah.
There are a million bullets in that gun that you just fired.
Yep, and I am perfectly fine with it. The guy that made it kind of came out and talked shit recently again. And I'm like, dude, just move on, man. Just move on. Let everyone forget you made that movie so that you can make other stuff.
Just sit in the box.
Now, there's also rumors that, like we said, the price range rumor around $6.99. They're aiming for a November launch, which is awesome. I'm excited. What I've said before is if they add everything that they've ever had on Disney Channel or very close to, that is what will get me to pay for the subscription service.
Because there's a lot.
But now there's a new rumor that if this comes out to be true, they don't even need to add all the Disney stuff. I'm going to do it. There's a rumor that they're going to do an ESPN Plus, because that's the other streaming service they're launching, Hulu, and Disney Plus combo discounted subscription, where if you get all three, it'll cost you less than if you had all had them each separately. You do that, you got me. I'm done. I'll do it. You know, with you, you're already talking about the fact that you got the Spotify discount with Hulu.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if they might even throw in Spotify.
I just don't know if you said you think Disney owns Spotify.
I'm starting to lean in. Hold on, actually, let's
because I know that Disney only owns 30% of Hulu. Before that was 15 because the 30 became because of them buying Fox. He's pulling up Spotify right now to see.
Disney will own a 60% stake of the service Hulu. Spotify and Hulu are partners, so yes.
Oh, 60%. I thought it was 30%.
No, Disney wants to rule the world. You do not understand. Amazon's trying to fight the freedom by having their own vision of how TV should run, and they are going to fail, and they are going to be bought by Disney, and Disney will then own shipping services. You do not understand.
Hey, if the mouse is delivering the stuff to my house, as long as it shows up on time, that's all I care about. No, I mean, throw in a Spotify membership, that even becomes a better deal for most. I personally didn't care for Spotify when I tried it out. I got my Apple Music. I'm happy there.
It's how I listen to my favorite podcasts, like Ugly Mugs Podcast.
You don't listen to us. Come on.
I do, to make sure that we're doing quality assurance.
Yeah, I'm glad you do the quality assurance, because I kind of just fast forward to the episode and go, okay, no weird drop. Okay, no weird drop. Okay.
And
I don't want to listen to
the whole thing
for 2 hours.
Yeah, I do, to the fact that I just want to make sure that the whole episode runs smoothly, because I don't do that as I put up the synopsises, because I don't see a point to do that anymore. The last one I literally put at the end, I'm tired, I'm going to go eat, bye. If anyone happens to go and look at that.
Now, I think we're good to move on to our discussion for the day. And we'll close out this episode once we're done with this. I had mentioned Blockbuster, and then we kind of talked about nostalgia. So we figured we would talk about some of the things that... do we want to go things that are gone?
Because that would raise what is nostalgic.
Because nostalgic just... It doesn't have to be things that are gone. It's the feeling of going back to something from your childhood.
Yes, but then there are things like Gushers. There was a list I saw that has...
Gushers now are not what they were back when we had them as kids.
Oh, yeah, no.
Gushers now kind of suck.
Yeah, because back then, when you open up the package, it was a mixed bag of whether or not they were either stuck together or this great amalgamation of one giant gusher.
Yeah. I don't buy gushers anymore. I don't see the point in buying gushers anymore.
Yeah, they're sugar with a little bit of vitamin C.
So, this is one that I know Lauren likes. We have a list of things for 90s kids. I never had these. I don't remember these. It's Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos are great.
We're gonna have to quote this article is coming from BuzzFeed from Logan Rhodes. Okay, so Dunkaroos. I do not remember these. I never had these. I just smacked my nose on the mic.
It's basically small-time grain crackers that had the flavor of chocolate with like a chocolate chip frosting.
Kind of like the teddy bear ones, but without the frosting.
Yeah,
okay.
kind of.
Teddy Grahams.
Yeah. I would say Teddy Grahams are more memorable than Dunkaroos, personally.
I remember Teddy Grahams. I think Teddy Grahams are still a thing.
Teddy Grahams are still a thing. So, okay. I remember them from my past.
Yeah, there's Gushers.
Yeah.
So this one actually made a comeback recently. The French Toast Crunch.
They made a churro one.
Really?
I want to find it.
Speaking of churros, there's still some churros in my freezer. You never had them.
I know.
I didn't have the French Toast Crunch until they brought it back. I didn't experience when I was a kid. The one I experienced when I was a kid that I wanted to come back didn't make a comeback, and that's Oreos.
Oh, we sell them. So
yeah, they made a comeback. I've bought them a couple times since they've come back. They're good. I remember them being better. I don't know if they changed it.
They probably most of the things that come back. They look at the formula and go, that
was really bad for those kids. Back
my
then.
God, 85% of their overall sugar in one bowl.
Yeah,
that's half a bowl.
This one is the Lion King color changing spoons. I never had these, but I did have color changing spoons when I was a kid.
I got 2 of them, and they were from Toy Story.
Okay.
So I do remember these quite.
I think mine were Lilo and Stitch, actually, not because I was still young then, but because my brother was around that age range.
I'm skipping that one.
Okay, so the blow up furniture. This is extremely 90s.
This is how 90s this is.
This is 90s at the max.
I honestly don't. I remember having a friend that had one of these, and it would not I would actually be that evil kid that wanted to pop it, so I would just hop on top of it, and it would just not. It was very durable.
Now let's talk about how 90s the photo is. The model is wearing a dress, which it could be present day. That's fine. But she's wearing those foamy sandals that were like an inch fucking thick.
Yeah.
She's talking on a cordless house phone, and she's sitting in the blow up armchair with the blow up ottoman with her feet on it. This whole photo is 90s.
This photo is 90s.
So what a great time.
What a great time.
Heads up 7-Up in the classroom. I did it a little bit, but
I moved
around a lot.
It was the Great Detective Game because
you
only had 4 people, maximum of 4 people to choose from, if depending on rules. And you look and you're like, you're like, which one of these motherfuckers would choose me? And then you would look and you'd think.
So now I think my problem here was. If I do the math really quick, so we have, if you count kindergarten, you have 13 years of school.
Yeah.
I went to 14 schools, 15 schools.
Okay.
As a military brat.
Oh, that's right. You were moving around.
I've lived on both coasts, so I've experienced the fact that a lot of schools and other places did not give a shit about things like Heads Up 7-Up.
Yeah, no.
Because I only ever got to play it a handful of times.
Yeah. It was more artistic things that we were always leaning to do. I remember Discovery Zone, which is just this big, huge abomination of
slides and crawling around in jungle gyms, nets and ball pits.
I remember those.
Lauren talks about this a lot. I never went.
Yeah,
I did Chuck E. Cheese a few times when I was a kid, but I never did Discovery Zone.
A couple of casinos on the Strip, and I think even the Orleans still has their Discovery Zone, where it's just this tall, big fuck-off structure.
I know that a lot of them have Kids Quest.
That's it. Some change their names to that.
Yeah. But there was nothing I ever really experienced. Okay, I still have one of these somewhere.
The orange VHS.
The orange VHS tape, because it was Nickelodeon.
Wasn't there another brand of VHSs that had another color?
Well, the main color was black.
Yeah, main color was black.
You would get white. Normally with those ones, it was something that wasn't like a huge production. It was something smaller.
And then orange was specifically Nickelodeon.
Yeah. You would also know if someone stole the rental tape because it would normally be like black with the top piece that folds down to allow the tape to be visible was blue because you stole it from Blockbuster. Wasn't all of them. Normally they would do the Blockbuster stickers, but there was when they started making them specifically for rental purposes, you started getting the blue ones.
Interesting. I never knew that. Then again, I never did VHS tapes. I was always in there for games.
I still have my VHS tapes. So my family, Blockbuster was an event. We would go and we would pick out. We would spend probably an hour at the video store just looking through. And we'd pick out videotapes and we would try to watch them all in time to get them back without getting charged for the extra day or whatnot. We weren't allowed to go to Hollywood Video because a friend of my mom's racked up a big ass bill on her Hollywood Video card by never returning a videotape, and my mom refused to pay it, and the company went out of business, so she never had to pay it. So, but we were a Blockbuster family.
Okay.
Do you remember the Blockbuster commercial with the rabbit and the guinea pig that were in the pet store across the street, and they would watch the things over at the through the window at the Blockbuster?
I can see the weird CG, but I nothing.
Very vague.
Yeah, okay. Nothing's clicking.
Now, I want to eventually go to the Oregon Blockbuster, the last Blockbuster. That's going to be a big deal for me. That'll be one of these days trips. The Mind Games thing. I played this game. I don't remember what this game is called. Mancala. Okay.
Yeah, I used to be very, very sneaky with my number counting. This is basically if you want to learn how to count cards, this is how you start doing it.
So I remember the only time I could ever play this is if you showed up to school early and you went into like the library.
Like the safe key style things?
Kind of, but without actually having your parents have to sign you up for safe key.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Weapons of the Future, it's the freaking laser tag type of thing.
The cheesy laser tag that had the bad IR reading that you can cover with your hand and you
honestly
become unkillable.
Me and Lauren bought a laser tag this year for her younger brother for Christmas. It stopped working the same night.
Jesus.
They have not improved.
Jesus. I don't like that.
I don't know what that even is.
That's basically, you know those fortune tellers?
Yeah, the paper fortune tellers.
Yeah, it's numbers instead of all that. So
yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Virtual reality, and it's the Windows Start logo sitting in
the Windows 95 virtual reality 3D maze. I would say not necessarily virtual reality, considering by that time we had Doom. I would say Doom would be more nostalgic than this.
Yeah, I see. In my life, I didn't get much time with the PC. I grew up Nintendo.
Yeah.
All my time was Nintendo. I had the NES, the Super NES, and the N64.
Yeah.
So my mom stopped buying me these. It's a Tamagotchi. I think I had the other one.
Digimon?
No, not Digimon. The exact same thing. It was just the one that didn't have a Japanese name. I dropped mine in a cup of water because the thing needed a bath. Fried it. So my mom never bought me another one.
Yeah.
I was in like fucking kindergarten.
Yeah.
Oh, the scooter things that you would sit on.
The rec room, yes.
And then run your fucking finger over.
Yeah, I either do that or I slid off and I got rug burn on hard linoleum. Like, how do you do that?
Or that wood flooring in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. I loved it. Even though it was the worst thing to do, but we enjoyed the shit out of it. I don't know why.
The Sanford pencil sharpener?
Big old fuck off pencil sharpener.
The ones that you would actually have to spin. Now, I didn't like the noise, but I like that the pencil came out warm from the friction, and I love the smell of the wood shavings. That's my nostalgia with that. Would be the wood shavings and the fact that the pencil comes out warm from the friction.
All right.
I know, it's weird.
Creepy
I had one
crawlers.
of these. Actually, I think I had two of these because one broke and we got another one. This is the thing where you would put the different colored
plastic,
basically plastic in, and then it would cook it, and you'd have the rubbery bugs, and I still have some of them. Yeah. I don't have the cooker anymore. Now, the one I always wanted was the one that you made candy with.
The tasty. Oh no. Bug maker eat. I don't know. I honestly, it's just.
What's funny is it kind of worked. It brought up the creepy crawler bug maker still.
Dr. Dreadful.
Yeah, Zombie Bug Lab. So that one was edible.
Yeah.
At least I think this. Yeah, this is the edible one. Yeah. I always wanted this one. My mom wanted to get it, but she was like, "No, you have enough candy as is." But I did have the creepy crawler lab for a little bit. They broke really easily. But basically it was, a way that they could, if you think about it, it was easy bake, but for boys.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
my God. The zombie brains.
I don't even remember the zombie brain one. I feel like that might have been just a little too late.
Oh, wow. Looks gross. Tastes great.
It was just sugar.
It was just pretty much sugar with a little bit of flavoring.
Yeah.
And then a
sugar
little bit
and
of
food coloring. This one, I don't understand why this is here. It's Warheads. We all still get Warheads, let's be honest.
Yeah.
No one stopped getting Warheads.
Yeah, there's no nostalgia value
Although my mouth is watering looking at it.
Yeah, same.
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. The only thing I really have to say about this is that Guillermo del Toro is doing this as a movie, and he is making it look like Stephen Gamble's artwork, and I'm all for it.
And it looks great.
Yeah, I'll go see it.
I am okay with this.
My brother had this. The Fisher Price or Preschool or whatever the hell it was called. Play School. Color changing flashlight. Just had a knob on the side.
Yeah.
And it switch colors.
Has that flicker thing.
I don't know what this is.
This is AOL. AOL's Instant Messenger.
Okay, so in my household, I was told AOL was a bad thing when I was a kid.
That's fine.
And I was told that when the discs come in the mail, we break them. I don't know my mom's motivation. I'm going to have to ask her one of these days, but that was how we handled things. AOL is bad. If you ever see one of these in the mail, you break it.
Okay.
Okay, I was a fan of the show. This one's Boy Meets World.
I
was even here for the reincarnation Girl Meets World, where it's their kids and they brought all the original actors back.
Okay.
That's cool.
I mean, I remember hearing a few things from it, but I've never really sat down and watched it.
It was basically, this kid kind of growing up and dealing with problems of being it was a way for you to be like, that's someone that has my problems. But he had the wise teacher that would who was also his neighbor, who would tell him how to be.
It was an after-school special that was meant for younger generations.
It was an after-school special without the cheesiness of an actual after-school special. Like, it was a show you wanted to watch.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't that cheesiness. So now...
Bill.
It's Bill Nye the Science Guy.
He has a new show on
Which
Netflix.
he does. Bill Nye Saves the World, and I've watched a little bit of it. I enjoy it.
It's pretty much the old show, just on a smaller set.
Yeah.
Because with the old show, he used to have this whole entire stage of...
He would travel to places and everything.
Yeah, and he would go over and do something in one corner, come back over and have a different part of the lab. And then I think it had a spin-off, Beekman's World, if I'm not mistaken.
Never saw it.
It was about his rat that managed to manifest cognition and teach us the lower points of the science.
Bill Nye the Science Guy is definitely going to be one of those things that I have my kids watch.
Real talk, we'll do the same.
Yeah, because
he's very smart as far as how to
I have his
teach.
book. And
he has a book?
He has a couple, actually.
Well,
I have his most recent book, and I feel like even though I don't have these science degrees and whatnot, it's an understandable book. He did it in a way that layman's can understand without feeling like layman's either.
We're gonna skip that one.
Okay, so the next thing is the briefcase of art supplies.
The rose art.
First of all, rose art fucking sucks.
Rose art is not great, but at the same time, you got to figure you got a great deal for roughly.
I had so many of these growing up.
Really?
And I think I still have some in my closet somewhere in like a box.
Oh Jesus. But even still, it's the like 104 pieces in one briefcase style thing that has like 30 markers, 20 crayons, 20 colored pencils, and 16 watercolor things in this very strange plastic hold.
That weird thing of crappy glue.
Oh, this here?
Yeah, the white thing of weird crappy glue. What the fuck was the point of that?
I think it was just meant for paper to paper. I don't think it was meant for anything else.
It didn't fucking even work for that. And there was like barely enough in there to do anything. Give me a glue stick. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, get a glue stick.
So now this one
you brought up some strange trivia, but I was like, what? Okay, I guess.
So it's the see-through corded phone, where you can see all the inner workings of the phone. And they did everything in like way crazier colors than they would normally do the inner workings of a phone because it was see-through.
Yeah.
Now, this is how they do electronics like radios and televisions in prison. Maybe not every prison, but in prison, this is normally how they try to do these things so that they can see if you're hiding shit in your radios and TVs. Because some prisons allow prisoners to have their choice of a radio, a TV, or something else.
And so that would have to be see-through.
Yep. Make sure you're not hiding stuff or taking out components.
I like this game.
So I never got to play this. I grew up hearing about this because my mother actually got to play this.
Yeah. It's old.
Then they came out with a phone version that I actually really liked. And I played for a while. And then the learning company that owns it now, changed it and made it into like a town builder. And it's not Oregon Trail anymore.
It is Oregon Trail, by the way.
Yeah.
I played this back when the AccuSync 70 was the only type of monitor that was in any cognitive learning establishment, library, school, what have you. Like this big old CRT. It was larger than a CRT. Like that's how big these monitors were, just to have a small screen like that.
Yeah.
And it was such a good game. And then there was a few in, I would say, the 4th grade that had like animation style things that were really nice and bubbly.
By the time I got to the 5th grade, computers had definitely come a long way.
Yeah.
We did a readathon when I was in 5th grade. Sorry. Yeah, we did a readathon when I was in the 5th grade, where basically we got people to pay for chunks of our readathon time, like sponsor us basically, and we stayed up out at night at the school, did this huge readathon, and raised all this money to get new Apple computers in all the classrooms, or at least one of the classrooms, if not all. And they were the big Apple with that turn thing on top. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
That you would twist open. That was new at the time. That was fancy at the time. And we got all of the computers switched over to Apple computers like that.
Cool. But, I mean, Oregon Trail is great. They have a whole bunch of different types of it right now. There's even one called the Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
that
the
is
zombie one.
Zombie
like
apocalypse style one that plays just like it, but hunting for food is a little bit more harder.
I always found it weird when the hawk would take off with your child. Do you remember that?
No.
The hawk could take off with your kid. Yeah.
I've never ran into that.
Yeah. I don't know if it was just for the when they redid it. I don't know. I remember this. I never used it. KidPix.
KidPix. I think I used something. I think I used something similar to it.
Yeah, it's Microsoft Paint.
It wasn't Microsoft Paint. There was something in the middle that I used, but I do remember that there were like facial expressions and all that, and you just throw it up there and go haha, and it does like I think 5 frame animations. So it had its things that it was able. I don't know what the fuck this is.
Yeah, Number Muncher. I actually remember this a little bit. I didn't play it enough to actually tell you how it works, though.
I mean, it seems like it's multiples of 2, so you'd find like 10 to 12, any even number.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it has its thing. Book fairs. I never really understood book fairs as far as when I was young, but now I do because it's what pays the publishers to keep making books and keep publishing books.
Scholastic was a big thing about book fairs. My mom would always try to at least get us 1 or 2 books from the book fair. If she could. Yeah, the problem is, while these are cheap, parents still have to, deal with the everyday stuff. Yeah. So she couldn't go nuts on the book fairs, but she'd always try to make sure we were getting something.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, the books weren't too bad. There was
Scholastic's got some good stuff.
What the fuck were those ones called? Animorphs?
I don't know if Animorphs were Scholastic. It may have been. I know what you're talking about the one with the where Benedict Cumberbatch looks like he's the mid version.
Yeah, of every single one. Doesn't matter.
We were talking about this earlier. I don't know what it is. I cannot figure out what this is.
It looks like Double Dare.
It's not Double Dare though.
Can we do?
You want to do a reverse image search?
I was gonna try. Can I do that?
You can save the image and then put it into Google search.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on for now. This is the waterfall ring toss. I'll talk about this while you do this.
Yeah.
I had a lot of these when I was growing up as a kid. I had the handheld waterfall ring toss. I had the ones that you sit on the table and whatnot. And basically, it's just a thing full of water with a little rubber, circle.
Yeah.
That you launch in the air and try to get on the hooks. I don't know how I always managed it, but they would always dry out. I never cracked them open because I wouldn't spill water everywhere, but mine always dried out when I was a kid.
It would just do it. Yeah, I'm just getting a bunch. Oh, BuzzFeed? Pure Nostalgia Wave? No.
Yeah, that's what we're on.
No, this is a different one.
Oh, okay.
So maybe, oh god, holy shit, this is a better list than what we had.
Okay, so he just found another BuzzFeed nostalgia thing
That's better.
Well, we can check our time and see if we have time to go through this craziness.
Oh, here we go. The aggro crag. Let's fucking search.
Aggro crag?
Let's search the aggro crag now.
Guts.
Global guts. Okay.
Okay. I remember this now.
Okay. Because with the way it was positioned with this image, I was like, it looks familiar, but I can't quite relevate. But yeah, it started in 1992 and ended in 96.
So there was a time where Nickelodeon was just freaking killing it with these game shows and stuff like that for kids, and it's just not a thing anymore. They brought back Double Dare recently.
They need to bring back Tomb of the Hidden Temple.
Legend of the Hidden Temple. They did the movie, which is supposed to be like what the game show would be based off of or whatever. Disney Adventures, the magazine.
Yeah, that little tiny. It was like a 5x7 size.
Yeah, what you like see as like soap opera digest or something like that.
It was for kids.
And
it was really good. Like it had like small time comics, and it actually talked about shows that we as children.
It was TV Guide, but for kids.
Yeah.
The problem is kids don't want to read now.
And
the kids don't want to flip through a magazine. They want to be on their tablets and their iPhones. And don't get me wrong, I want to be on my tablets and my iPhones, but I also have magazine subscriptions that I read. That one's a photo of the Spice Girls.
And I was just like, Jesus Christ, all of them look.
One of them went on to be a host for America's Got Talent, and she kind of wasn't all that fun. She never really seemed to get into it like I thought she would.
They were a 2-hit and gone kind of thing, because it was.
Reminder: they had California Adventure had actually done. I think it was Spice Girls. They had done a Spice Girls like show thing.
I don't know. All I know is, in short, they 2 songs relevate in the mind, and that's it. So I'm sure they're lovely women right now, and they're doing their own things. Well, I saw the sign.
Okay, you know what that reminds me of is Halo music video hell. Early internet, not early internet, but
oh yeah,
where they did all the different songs to the with the Halo characters. That right there, I vaguely remember. So it's the McDonald's stools that were the hamburgers with eyes, most likely in the pay place.
Yeah.
Do you remember when like the Evil Grimace and the Hamburglar and the Fry Kids? Those were all a big thing.
I remember having the newsletter from the McKids.
And now you barely see Ronald McDonald even at McDonald's.
You don't get none of that. You're lucky to see it on the thing that displays the toys.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Anything that was jelly.
Anything that was clear and see-through.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no. Oh my God. I still do this to today.
I don't really eat them anymore, but Lauren does, and she still does this.
Yeah, puts on the witch fingers from Bugles.
Bugle witch fingers.
Yeah. Okay, this was on both lists, and I don't understand why. It's the magic eye thing. It's just their eye illusions.
Oh, it's a schooner.
Huh?
It's a Mallrats quote. You poor dumb bastard. It's not a schooner. It's a sailboat. Schooner is a sailboat, dummy. It's the magic eyes. It's the things where you're supposed to go cross-eyed and you'll see the image or whatever.
Yeah.
I never bothered to get one. I would just look at them at the book fair to see if I could see the images and then put them back.
Yeah, I never could. I don't know what's up with my eyes. They're too good, I guess. I say as I am grumbling that I need new glasses. The Talk Boy.
So this Talk Boy is not actually like real Talk Boys. This is a fun fact. So this is a photo of Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin, and Home Alone 2. The Talk Boy wasn't out yet when this movie came out, but they wanted to promote it. So they made him a Talk Boy that he got to keep that was not like what they ended up releasing.
No.
This was to advertise it. And then they ended up doing a completely different design. But it was basically a tape recorder.
Yeah.
That had like a mic on it.
That had a mic, and it had all that, and it had like pitch options so that we can slow down the audio, speed up the audio. It was okay. It didn't. I had one. I had one of these too. Holy shit.
The Nickelodeon alarm clock. Now I never had this, but I wanted one
because it made such weird noises when it would.
It looked cool.
I mean, it was okay. I give it a stern.
Like now, I go, this looks like crap.
It looks like crap. But would you still want it?
Not anymore.
Yeah.
There's certain things that I see that I'm like, I still kind of want that to this day, but
yeah, me neither.
No, if you want it, get it.
I would totally.
We should get you a Punisher alarm clock.
Ooh.
Have it just shoot off a fucking 22 next to your ear.
Just keep shooting it. Jesus Christ. Crossfire! The commercials for this. Bless you.
Thank you.
Crossfire, I remember the commercials for, and I remember going, is this a thing you ride on? Like, I see the kids spinning on it.
This was before Beyblades.
This was before Beyblades, and this game was ridiculously tough because it reloads itself, because it had, like, the Hungry Hungry Hippo style of how it feeds. Yeah, so it goes into the machine.
Slant or whatever.
Yeah, and then it feeds into itself, and then it keeps shooting, and you just kept shooting and never stopping. It did well, I think. Mr. Sketch sent it. These still exist.
I never owned these, and I was always told you're not supposed to sniff markers. So when they released these, I was like, okay, I won't sniff the markers.
Well, no, these actually smell really good. I liked them. Natural Wonders. Oh, the Home Crafts store. I do remember this.
I vaguely remember that.
Oh my god.
This is my shit.
That is your shit.
So I grew up in a town that had one of these. Well, okay, my town didn't, but because I'm from a small town, smaller town.
Cut to the chase.
It's the Warner Brothers store, the studio store. You would have big Bugs Bunny statues and Daffy statues out front. If your town was a reason why it would be themed, for instance, New York, they would be themed. So he was wearing the Statue of Liberty get up. My town, it was just a tuxedo because we had no theme. These were amazing. You could get animation stills, you get statues, clothing, all kinds of shit. And basically, if you guys have photos of this place, please tweet them at me. Send them to me. I want them because I loved going here. I still have stuff in this household to this day that are from there. Coffee mugs, things like that. My mother's got statues, Christmas ornaments. The Warner Brothers studio store was my shit, and the fact that they fucking closed it, I'm still mad. They would have characters walking around in the big suits and do autographs and photo ops. And I've got photos somewhere of like little tiny me doing it. So, this one is... Do
you love your soda? You love your
soda.
I do. Ooh.
These two blew up.
They blew up and then they disappeared? Like, what is Kenan Thompson?
Yeah. So, they were on all that. They then got their own show, and they did Good Burger. Which, I gotta say, Good Burger is probably the one that branched the most out of everything.
Like, I know he did SNL for a minute.
Yeah, pick up his IMDb. It'll give you the more recent stuff.
Yeah.
So it's Kenan Thompson.
And Kel Mitchell?
Yeah, Kel Mitchell.
So I'll look up both in a minute. But, like, no, he's still doing SNL.
Yeah, he's still doing SNL.
And...
I forgot he was on Snakes on a Plane.
Oh, yeah, he was.
That's...
and the movie Good Burger, not that bad. I mean,
I loved that movie.
It had a good plot, a good running. It's just nothing too... outgoing.
Honestly, it being the goofy Nickelodeon movie that it was.
Oh, we won one Primetime Emmy.
It totally called out companies that like do mass production of things that we really shouldn't be eating.
And then, what was the hidden thing? They were eating like drugs.
No, it was
they were just adding enhancers to make the burgers bigger.
Yeah, it was basically a pink sludge that they were making into burgers.
Okay.
So it called out all these companies. And it was a legit thing to call out. It's a thing to call out now. And then, Kill Mitchell.
Yeah.
Mitchell.
He was looking pretty good.
He was good, yeah. They're both looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Actually,
oh, God. I forgot he was in Mystery Men.
I have not seen that all the way through. I've always gotten interrupted every time I've tried to watch it.
Yeah, it's not great. Oh, hey.
There's talks of him being in the new Animaniacs as someone called Newt. That's going to be a Hulu original. The new Animaniacs.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy.
They confirmed the Warner Brothers and Sister Dot and Pinky and the Brain are coming back for it. They just haven't confirmed if it's going to be the original voice actors.
Brain.
So yeah, he's doing stuff. He did something called Game Sharks.
Shakers.
Game Shakers. I'm looking at past the mic.
Yeah. But even still,
he's staying active. That's even if it's like B stuff or just guest spots on TV shows, I'd like to see no gaps.
Yeah.
When I start seeing gaps is when I get concerned.
Well, unless you're retired.
If you're retired, that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Like Sean Connery's done. He retired.
Yeah. But do you think he'll do some cameos later on in life, maybe?
Probably. I mean, look at what the guy that played Urkel has done now. He now just does jokes about like, oh yeah, I was Urkel. I'm not anymore. I don't do that anymore. And then they'll get him to do something Urkel-y. He did I want to say it was like Geico or Progressive or something like that. Or maybe it was a car commercial where he was traveling around with a dummy, like a wax sculpture that was dressed up as Urkel. It was a little weird.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so this one is the Goofy movie.
The Goofy movie with Powerline. And I was like, I remember just this scene. Like, I remember them fighting Sasquatch, and I was like, okay, cool, whatever. But the end scene where he is...
Do the perfect cast.
Yeah, do the perfect cast. And all that. I was like, good singer meets strange anthropomorphic... Is Goofy a friggin' dog?
Yes.
Okay, so weird dog people.
Is just their weird gimp thing.
Yeah, it's the fetishized. Okay, we're.
Now here's a piss off. So I loved that movie.
Okay.
And the soundtrack is available on iTunes or through Apple Music. Everything except Stand Out. Stand Out is not available on Apple Music.
Wow.
I don't know why. And it's
licensing. It's got to be licensing.
But they have the entire rest of the album.
That one song from that one person.
He's got
the other one on there?
I think he's got the other one on here. Oh, maybe not. Okay, maybe that's the issue. But that character was totally a combination of Michael Jackson and Prince.
Mm-hmm.
Powerline. Mm-hmm. The N64, the future is here, the Toys R Us ad for it with Mario 64 on it.
I mean, real talk, that was probably a hype.
Yeah, and I loved the shit out of this console. I still have this console.
Yeah.
The fact that this was a $200 console back in the day, though, kind of scares me. Like, damn.
Yeah. Right now you can get it on eBay for like $30.
Yeah. I do miss Toys R Us, even though they haven't been gone very long and they are coming back.
I'm surprised they're coming back.
But to be fair, the Toys R Us that died recently is not the Toys R Us I grew up with.
Oh, no.
I miss the Toys R Us I grew up with.
Yeah. They would always be a little bit more outgoing with their sales and all that. I remember back in the day, they used to have like tournaments for Pokemon, and
they did all kinds of
shit. They used to be like all about the community.
You remember being able to go and meet Jeffrey the Giraffe?
No, that one with me.
So I still have these. These are the big boxed VHS
from
tapes
Disney.
for Disney.
Yeah,
which Nickelodeon totally ripped off. They started doing the exact same shape and size. Nick Studios, it's in Florida. On Universal's backlot. It was part of the Universal Studio tour and everything. This is where you would go to watch Double Dare and stuff like that. It's not a thing anymore.
Oh.
They ripped it out, but it had a slime fountain out front. It had a time capsule that they dug out and put over at the Nickelodeon hotel when the studio closed. Nickelodeon back in the 90s was a hell of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Nickelodeon now is not.
I mean,
all.
they're
like, it's still big. It's not what it was.
It's not what it was. No. Oh, hell no.
It was the first channel for kids, and now it's Nick at Night, Nick Mom, things like that have all happened. And then the other crazy thing about watching a studio changes, I feel like Nickelodeon has survived and is doing well, yeah, but it kind of makes you stop and go, what other channels changed from what they were? Think back to what MTV used to be versus what MTV is now.
Oh, God. Fuse
is gone.
Fuse is, yeah.
G4.
G4. But yeah, Fuse started off just doing straight music videos, different blocks. You know, you would have the alternative, the metal hour, that sort of thing. And then they started doing original programming. And I was like, what? Why? No, give us our music, please. And you would text a number to another number, and they would play that song next.
Yeah,
or
you
they
could
would vote.
Like you could do like a message and stuff like
that
too.
And it was so cool. And then all of a sudden, it lost all of that.
So these right here, I will still buy these to this day. They still make them.
They do.
I will buy them. I will eat them. I fucking love them.
Bagel bites.
Also, the pizza bites, the ones that are closed up. I've actually got a bag of them in the freezer right now.
The Totino's?
Yeah, Totino's pizza rolls. That's what it was. Yeah, I got Totino's in the freezer right now.
Oh, God.
Snackwell's Devil's Food. Now, I've never bought these.
Okay,
ever.
They're gone.
My grandfather would buy these, and I would eat them. But this was not a thing I would go out of my way to get.
Yeah, these were amazing.
Let
me put it out there that I enjoy Devil's Food Cake. I love red velvet cake, which is basically Devil's Food Cake painted red. Delicious. Oh, yeah. Oh, God. You look... Okay, we were looking at a picture of the very first American Power Rangers.
Speaking of which, if you go to the convention this year with me and Lauren, Green Ranger's going to be there again.
Oh,
I can't remember his name.
Frank something.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't mind getting the Green Ranger signature.
I wouldn't mind either. He's
talk about a redemption story, traitor, and then back to being the guy that carried it on through every show, and still does, I think.
Off and on. He did. Okay, let's see.
He more pops up every now and then.
He pops every now and again. He did original. He did the Ninja Force. He did Turbo. He did the police one, I think, and then he came back a lot, like seven seasons later to pop up, and he had the goatee, the ponytail, but he had the salt and pepper in.
Yeah.
So he looked a little bit aged in that one, but he looked good.
I always wanted to be the Red Ranger or the Green Ranger.
I was always the blue. I always did enjoy the Blue Ranger, just because he was the smart one.
I wanted to be the Green Ranger after he became good.
And my thing with Billy was after I watched the episode where he was like, man, I got a B in school, and Rita was eavesdropping on it, and he doesn't like bees, does he? And sends down a giant bee. I was like, Rita, stop. And then the bee gets destroyed, and he does better on his next test. And I was like, okay, cool.
No, the Power Rangers was an interesting thing because it wasn't like anything else on television here in America.
Not at that point, but then we got like VR Troopers and
but they all failed. Power Rangers is the only one that continued to go.
Big Bad Beetleborgs, VR Troopers, like I can remember them, but you're right.
And Power Rangers is still a thing now.
They are.
Even with that new remake not doing well, they've still got a show going.
They still
more in the realm of the big goofy costumes and exploding sword swipes.
God, the getting into costume animations. God, I can tell that's where most of their fucking budget is going to. I can guarantee it. But then again, they just copy and paste it from every episode.
Alpha 5, the robot in the original Power Rangers.
Yeah.
The voice of Invader Zim.
Is it?
Yep. The voice actor that does Invader Zim. Okay, so I did want this room. I didn't watch this show nearly as much as Lauren. It's Hey Arnold.
I liked Hey Arnold. It had a lot of feel-good moments. Yeah. It had a lot of good motives all the way through most of their episodes. Then there were some nonsensical ones, like having puberty hit Gerald while he was trying to sing. And I was like, I mean, sure, it's a thing people do. So, of course, his voice gets that deepness.
The big thing with these is they had to tackle things that you may be going through.
Yeah, and I get that. But then at the same time, there were just episodes that felt like filler for a show that was essentially filler. There's the Easy Bake Oven. There's the Blockbuster Video. Oh my God!
Look at that, the old Blockbuster Video.
And it's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
This is the old case.
October 14th, 1990. Price $11.88. What the fuck? I don't know. Did they purchase this?
I don't remember how the pricing works on it. I remember this though. Stickleys. It was on, I think, Nickelodeon.
Mm-hmm. I vaguely remember it.
It was a popsicle stick with googly eyes that would do a talk show.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's not clicking in me. Zoo Books. I remember the commercials for these. Every single other commercial would always try and push Zoo Books on you.
Yeah.
And it would teach you about one animal a month for a year.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I guess that's cool. Same thing for Nickelodeon Magazine, I guess. Polly Pocket and Mighty Max? Was that the other mini?
Maybe.
Like,
I didn't have them. I had the Pokemon one.
It was Mighty Max.
Mighty Max. So these were the Polly Pocket Mighty Max toys you could take on the go because you could close it up so you wouldn't lose the pieces.
And real talk, I mean, look at the design. Like,
no, it was smart.
Like it was a snake coiled up, and then when you open it up, you get the Mummy and Max and the Scorpion, and I was like, okay, all right, it gets a little bit. Oh no, I just found the entire subreddit for nostalgia.
Yeah, this is something that we're going to have to go through one day just to do it.
Oh, God. Zubumafu!
But we're running a little long.
We're running very long, yes. I will go ahead and close out of all this.
So, nostalgia is a hell of a drug. I can see the spike from when
I said Zubumafu. Like, real talk, I love Zubumafu.
But nostalgia is a hell of a drug, and it's bringing us.
We're forced into it. Whether we like it or not, we are getting forced
But I mean, think about it. It's causing us to go and shop at places. Because when we see Hot Topics got a T-shirt that we would have wanted when we were a kid that we couldn't have.
It's back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've spent money on shit from my childhood, definitely.
Oh, of course.
So, we'll be back with probably some Star Wars news next week. At least I will. I know you're not big on Star Wars because they're doing a big event right now, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, to do a big celebration and announce a bunch of stuff. They updated the mural outside Lucasfilms and whatnot. So we'll be back with that next week. But we don't really have any big events going on right now. No big conventions or anything.
Yeah, I was looking up for news to try and spice this up, but there wasn't too much. There was a few indie games that I don't know a lot about, and there was a bunch of small-time developers trying to get big, and I'm like, I don't know too much about them. I'm not going to try and push them around. Dauntless is still trying to get their words out, but I don't know too much about what's going on with Dauntless right now. So I was like, but it was a good cast.
Yep.
Good cast.
So, all right, guys, we'll talk to you next week.
Follow us on Patreon, please.
Oh, yeah, Patreon. Make sure you check out our Loot Crate and Tokyo Treat links in our description. And follow us on Twitter.
Yes.
We're a little bit more active. Well, I am at least. A little bit more active on Twitter than we are in a lot of other places. And I want to take a step back to last week's episode. Don't forget to check out our guest from last week, Piper, and his band
Hidden Scars.
Yeah. In their upcoming tour, they're doing both coasts. So make sure you guys check them out. Yes. All right. Thanks, guys.
Woo!